Good morning. Good morning, Sassy Ann. Good morning, girl. Well, Sassy Ann, darling, you and I are going to talk a little bit about the Summer Wells case and Equusearch. You know, my titles are usually messed up till I'm done anyway, right? Uh, uh, uh. I just had some toast. I just had toast. So, I seen Duty Ron last night, and he was talking to Dave Radar and Twyla from Equusearch. And I happened to see someone, even though they were talking about Sebastian Rogers, someone was in the chat asking if they would go back to search for Summer Wells. And I thought, how important is it to go back and listen to what Twyla and Dave had to say on Duty Ron's, they were on Duty Ron's, about searching for Summer. Now, one thing that always bothered me was it was like the no, I didn't. Let me look. I will look right now. I sure will. Did you just send it to me? Oh, okay, I got it. Missing juvenile from Kingsport. Well, we will talk about that here pretty soon, Sassy Ann. I will talk about that a little bit before I get off here. I promise. Okay. So, I just thought it was very important for maybe newer people following the Summer case. Um, will maybe it will help in some of the questions they may have about the search. Hey, Kiki, but I was very disappointed. I think from the beginning with what I felt was a lack of a certain respect for these individuals that were going out there every day to search for Summer in some of the most horrendous conditions that you all could ever think of. Okay. Hey, Benita. They were out there looking for a little girl. And I don't know. It really bothered me that it's like these people are human beings. These people have children, you know, uh, a lot of them probably around Summer's age. I couldn't imagine spending weeks looking for a little girl and not finding her. That would be the most horrific feeling to me in the world. I mean, it's already a horrific feeling that she's not been found, but I mean, what I don't personally know if I would want that on my shoulders. The whole world was looking at Equusearch to find Summer. Okay, so let me just we're gonna pop over here and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Equusearch. Okay. Equusearch Midwest is a search and recovery team that started in 2012 as a branch of Texas Equusearch. Now, important, search and recovery team. Search and recovery. Okay. Missing people drastically, the number of missing people drastically increased over the years, and this organization was much needed in our world. I will say that, in the United States. Equusearch works closely with law enforcement. They work closely with law enforcement. When it comes to a missing child, that is very important, class. Let me get my ruler out. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about Tim Miller, who created Equusearch, here in just a second. Not only do they work closely with law enforcement, they have the resources. They have the resources. They specialize in searches that involve small groups and large groups of people. They manage searches, okay, as few as 5 ground searchers up to 500 or more on the ground, ATVs, drones, thermal imaging, advanced technology. They also work with canine and equestrian teams as needed. Okay? They have it all. If, let me say this, if I knew a child went missing, these people are the ones that I would want helping look. For real. For real. I'm going to show you a few pictures. And these pictures aren't from a specific case, okay? So, I'm showing you these pictures and they're from a lot of different cases. So please do not think that I'm showing you these pictures and this was in that area. But this right here is going to show you what they have and what was used when they went to look for little Summer. They weren't just bodies on the ground. They had drones. They had, I mean, y'all, I'm telling you, with one thing, one goal, to find what they're looking for. It's a great organization. Okay, so I'm gonna come back up here. Ooh, did I make you dizzy doing that? Did I do that too fast? Okay, I want to come over here because we are going to. Okay, we're going. Thank you, Sassy Ann. We are going to go over to Duty Ron. And I know people laughed at Duty Ron when all the court stuff got messed up and you could actually hear them talking in the courtroom when they wasn't in the courtroom. They were just streaming it. Yes, it happened. I forgive you, Duty Ron. Okay. I feel you. I'm not social media savvy either, dude. Okay, so anywho, this is Twyla, and there's 2 of them. I want to watch this one first. Okay. Now, this is going to tell you all, okay? This is going to tell you all what they were up against in the Beach Creek and surrounding areas looking for Summer. Okay? So, class, please listen. And I do have to commentate on it. So, if I have to stop and say something, I don't need anybody freaking putting in my comments about it. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, here we go.
2 years and 2 weeks with Summer Wells. I know this was something that you lost quite a bit of sleep over. And you could correct me and stop me if I'm wrong, but I know this from being friends with you and talking with you on a regular basis. Your heart and soul was into finding Summer Wells and finding her and bringing her home. And I know that you searched for her vigorously with your teams. You want to just talk a little bit about the people who are following this with good intentions?
Not only Dave and Equusearch searched for Summer, but hundreds of other people.
About what Equusearch Midwest did, and then we'll bring Twyla in.
Again, I appreciate it for being back on. It's always good to see you and Ed, of course. We did spend a lot of time down looking for Summer. I mean, it was nonstop, and I mean, even before we even hit the ground, we were already plotting on places that looked feasible for us to do.
I will repeat, this is not a random YouTuber. Okay? This is not just somebody who decided, oh, I'm going to go look for Summer and let's record all of it and put it out on social media.
And, when we got down there, we were under the guidance of somebody else. We were brought in as a resource. And then there was a couple other times that we went down there that we had full power as far as to go where we thought that she may have been.
Did you hear that? Did you all hear that, class? You better be paying attention to this. I'm going to back this up a little bit. I want you to hear where he said at some point they were there numerous times. Okay? Numerous times they were there. Not just once. Not just once. And Sheriff Lawson said, I don't want you no more. You can't come back and search no more. After numerous searches. Okay, I got to take this back a little bit for you, class. Please listen to what Dave is saying. And he ain't lying, okay, y'all? He is not lying. This man doesn't have any reason to lie. I'm telling you. Hey, Exploited.
Already plotting on places that looked feasible for us to do. And when we got down there, we were under the guidance of somebody else. We were brought in as a resource. And then there was a couple other times that we went down there that we had full power as far as to go where we thought that she may have been.
They had full power to go to any area they thought she might be in. And these people aren't people who's just putting their finger on a freaking map. Okay? Day late and a dollar short. Well, you get a tardy. You can be tardy today, okay, flies? It's all right. So they had, I will say it one more time, complete access to areas that they thought she might be. Okay, Marianne, you, Megan's Law. I'm going to talk about that, Marianne. I think that is, that case is a horrifying case. It's a heartbreaking case. And I am going to talk about it.
Placed or put into. Again, we used, I can't even tell you, from day one, how many people and how many different teams from all over the country came in there to help out for this little girl. And
Did you hear that? Did y'all hear that? They had teams from everywhere that were coming in, right? Coming in to look for Summer.
and then we didn't stop there. We actually flew in Gene Robinson to bring his technology on board and cover a little bit more ground, plus two.
And for those listening, Dave, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Gene Robinson is the drone guru, right? He is our man. I mean,
you hear that? The man that they flew in to look for Summer, who is the best drone operator there is. He's the guru of the drones, to look for Summer.
I know Ed Wallace and Gene have been on our shows together, and they both have quite a bit of tech. They have a lot of knowledge when it comes to searching with drones. But Ed, also when we were talking, Ed was just like, Gene is just out of this world. He's got an unbelievable knowledge and skill set when it comes to operating drones, looking and searching for the missing, searching for little particles of clothing. He made a demonstration with us one night where he was talking about that little bit of color in one of those images that you look through with the locate program. And thanks to that fine gentleman who has this program and allows you guys to use it. He's a wonderful person. So again, I wanted the people who are listening, they might just hear Gene and say, who's this guy? So just give a little bit on that. Twyla and her group, I have so much footage that I want to play here and show everybody. We're scouring through the bushes and the brush in
class. Twyla is getting ready. If you guys don't ever listen to anything that I say on this channel, please listen to the conditions that Twyla speaks about, that not only they went through looking for Summer, but other searchers went through. And we're not just talking about the freaking humidity, which was horrible for them.
Tennessee. Dangers of black bear, snakes, and so forth. You want to just talk a little bit about those, what you guys had up against you when you came in there in June or July, I believe it was when you came in?
I'll tell you that terrain was absolutely unforgiving. I mean, not only was it a mountain, but again, you had the black bears to contend with. You had the snakes. You had all kinds of different wildlife that you were contending with while you're trying to stay focused on trying to find something as small as Summer was. So it's everything that was thrown at us. Again, we conquered it. Nobody complained about anything. At the end of the day, we were tired. The heat was, I think it was in the upper 90s, and I think it was into the triple digits as far as with the humidity factor, the real feel, and it was just, there was a lot to this, a lot of moving pieces, and we covered a boatload of ground. Unfortunately, we just didn't come up with the right piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed, you have anything for Dave in regards to that? I mean, you've been here almost with all of this. You've been here since the beginning.
I'm gonna get my dog real quick. I'll just let this play, you guys.
Effort to find
Give me 1
this
second.
young lady, and despite the obstacles that were put in their path initially, okay, and then afterwards, going back time and time again, drones and so forth. When the foliage was up, when the foliage was down, all of these things. Doing God's work out there. Great bunch of people, all volunteers. Not getting paid for this.
Yeah. Mothers, fathers, school, people who have got jobs, putting everything aside and coming down. I want to just say this for the folks who are in the chat. We love the live interactive chat. We love and appreciate your support. Hold your questions towards the end of this. In the last 15 minutes, you're going to do hashtag Dave, hashtag Twyla, hashtag Ed, hashtag DutyRon, whoever you want to direct your question to, just a hashtag, that person's name, and then we will get to you guys in the last 15 minutes, I promise. So hang around. We got a lot of ground to cover. Joining us now is the search coordinator, the drone extraordinaire, the recovering from surgery, Twyla Cisco, coming in from, where is that? Alabama, Arkansas? I never know where you are, Twyla. How are you?
Great. How are y'all?
Doing great. It's a pleasure to have you.
I don't even know where I'm at, but I'm somewhere.
You're there. You're in one of the Hollywood squares. Twyla, as it pertains to, whoops, Dave just bounced himself out and put himself back in.
All right.
As it pertains, or that might have been Ed, as it pertains to Summer Wells, I want to see, it's like, not me. I want to just get your take on, this is 2 years and 2 weeks. You guys made multiple trips to, Hawkins County and searched. You worked alongside, I believe, the lead detective at one point as well, John Pruitt, quite a few of the folks from Search and Rescue Squad. So just could you give the audience just a little bit of what you guys were up against? Dave touched on the bears, and you showed us so many little videos and stuff.
President Trump and Mike Braun had America on a roll. Booming economy, securing the border, and respect for law enforcement. It's time to get rolling again. Mike Braun, strong leadership for Indiana.
For some of the terrain you were searching through, do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, when we first went in for summer, it was in the beginning, and we were under TBI's direction. And I know when I got there, it was strictly law enforcement, search and rescue teams. At that time, it was rescue teams. We were the only search and recovery team that was there. It was very hot. It was very thick. And I remember rolling in there, and I was thinking, oh, my word, this is insane. I think there in Rocky Top is the worst terrain that I have ever been on through my journey with Equusearch. And then you got this little bitty child out here somewhere, and we're searching, and there's ticks, there's snakes, there's spiders, and it's hot. And when we first went in there, we were under the TBI direction, and then after a few days, they let us go and do some reconning of some areas, and we turned those in of areas that we thought from our experience that needed to be searched. And it was a lot. That, to be honest with you, other than Baby Joe, Clyde Daniels in Dixon, Tennessee, that was my first actual search for a child. And having kids myself, it was very hard. We went there in the beginning, and then they trusted us to come back on our own. A few times we went back a few times, and we did see bears. There was one time that we went back in the area that we were in. It was so.
Okay, I apologize, you guys. Thanks for hanging. My dog's getting so old. She's not doing good. She's very slow. I don't want to think about it. Okay. So did Twyla already talk about, because I don't remember, her and a group of searchers going to this area? They all got really sick. There were areas where there was a lot of paraphernalia. If you really listen, she's telling you exactly what goes on in those areas.
So trashy and so disgusting that at the end of the day, when we were done, we actually was at a motel, sitting outside debriefing, and most of our members that was there for that particular search ended up getting really, really sick. Dave got sick. I got sick. There was several others that had got sick, but I still can't wrap my mind around it. It doesn't seem like it's been 2 years. It seems like it was yesterday. And I sit sometimes and I ask myself, what could have happened to this little girl? My daughter, she's 9, and sometimes she wears clothes that I've seen in Summer wearing in her pictures, and I can't wrap my mind around it. And we talk about Summer's case often. Me and Dave talk about it, and when we see something, Trevor, he's the shining star here. Trevor Lee is, because he's out there, he's in the area, and he's not ever he's gonna make sure that nobody ever forgets Summer. He did something the other day. So I think he's the shining star when it comes to Summer, and I feel like she's findable. We just got to find that right spot. And whoever did hurt Summer or did this to Summer, it's not going to be a secret for long, because somebody can't go missing without somebody knowing, especially a child. But I think that's all the cases that we work are hard. But I think that one with Summer, it's really hard because there was a bunch of bull crap that had happened back in the beginning. But I tell you what, even with that, and me and Dave and several other teammates behind the scene was struggling because of a bunch of bull crap, because we went out there and did what we did, and I guess it was intimidating to others. I guess
I'm telling you guys, they were trying to get Equusearch caught up in a bunch of drama shit. Don fucking went hard on Dave Radar. And Dave talks about that. Dave and Twyla both met with Equusearch. Don was running his pie hole about Dave Radar, and Dave met him face to face, mano on mano. And Don, oh, he changed, you know, after that meeting. I'm telling you guys. So why all the fucking bullshit chaos? Who was causing that? Who was causing all this chaotic shit? Tim Mullins, you're one of them, mister. You're one of them. You know, I know. You are one of them. Why? Why, mister? I want to know. Come over here and talk to me, Tim. I got some questions. I won't even be mean to you. Just don't try to talk no psychobabble shit to me, okay? I'm telling you, mister. Hey, Act Right people. Hey, Sonia. Patty with her ponytail. Maybe the sick on. Well, that's the thing. They're in an area where people are manufacturing the extreme upper, I call it. Right? But these people are telling the truth. Why discredit an organization that is truly there for a child? Why do that? What the fuck was wrong with these people? Right? Yes, I dropped the F-bomb. Probably will many times because you all know me.
The bottom line is we're not going to give up on summer. And if they called us today, we'd be out there tomorrow. Dave probably pack up and leave tonight and go out there. But I will tell you that we are on the call out list for the first responders up there when they have somebody go missing. And recently there was a little boy that went missing. Thank goodness he was found. He was okay. As a matter of fact, I had contact with one of the detectives and TBI on that one. They did put us on standby for it, and luckily he was.
You hear that? Do you hear what she said? They are actually now one of the first responders for the area. Nobody listened to what anybody was saying. And I'm sorry, but it was true. Nobody was really listening to what anybody was saying. And I know everybody doesn't like Jody, but there are times when Jody makes a lot of fucking common sense. Common sense. The stuff that went on behind the scenes in the Summer Wells case, it's a lot. Why? Why'd y'all do shit like that? I don't think it was because y'all didn't fucking know better. That's what I'm telling you. It's not because y'all didn't fucking know better. Okay?
Found and he was okay. But we're never going to give up on summer. And as soon as we get that call saying, hey, come back, we're going to be on our way out there to do whatever we can, cover more ground. Sorry, somebody's driving by here.
It's okay, Twyla. You can mute it if you want. You took the next question right out of my mouth. I was going to ask you when you were done, if Hawkins County and the TBI or any of the agencies that are on this case, including the FBI, if they asked Equusearch Midwest to come on down, Dave, what would be your response, and how would you tackle another search for Summer Wells without going into details?
Again, nothing would change as far as, I would be, just like Twyla said, I would be packing my bags as we go. I would have mapping started. I would have the CalTopo started again. We're ready and prepared. So anytime that we get that phone call to go anywhere, that's what we do. We have contingency plans in place to, whenever we get a phone call, We have certain people that does certain things, and we get the ball rolling as fast as we can because timing is, again, in a missing persons case, timing is everything.
Right.
And okay, law enforcement got to the area quickly, right? They got there pretty quick. Now, from my understanding, there were units in the area. I would have to go back and make sure that is completely true. But there were allegedly units in the area for something else. And so they kind of got there a little bit quick, from my understanding. Okay. I'd have to go back and see where that was said, but I remember it being said.
And that's what I was
We
going
can
to
tell
ask.
you where she's not at. We know where she isn't at.
Yep. And another thing I was going to ask, and I know Ed probably has this in his thought process as well. Like, do you guys keep, obviously all of the records of everything as an organization internally, all of your searches that you've completed and all of the things? And I know that you always talk about, Dave, going back over, because there's always, sometimes in situations like this, there's always an opportunity and a chance for someone to remove remains and move them to another location. So that's why I kind of asked you, do you start from, square one and start all over again, or do you continue from where you left off? And that's like kind of, I guess, maybe a hard question to answer, but
it is kind of difficult, only for the simple reason that again, that would have to go on if law enforcement comes up and says, this person is now a suspect or a player in the game. Then at that point in time, then if they were on any of these searches or if they had access to where anybody looked, then at that point in time, then you have to start to go back over what that individual is. What was he familiar with?
Right.
So you kind of have to do both. You have to kind of
Don Wells, why did you give a man who was giving his time to find your daughter? Why would you? I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. Yep, she's a rock star. Blythe is a rock star. Oh my gosh, that fucking cat. Ugh. It's fucking like a wildlife zoo around here. Yeah, make sure you drop her link. Drop that link. Drop that link. Okay, yeah. Don Wells.
expand the circle. I mean, we keep everything close to the vest with our Caltopa. We don't share maps with anybody. So we kind of feel on our end of it, nobody really knows unless they're keeping an eye on us and then keeping a mental note. But it would almost have.
Did you hear that? They don't give out information about what they've done or where they've searched. Because if they were to do that, they don't know who's watching, right?
To be through law enforcement, but 9 times out of 10 we would expand the grid.
Yeah, I mean, what he's saying there is 100% correct. It would have to be intel driven, right? If law enforcement came up with some new intelligence or new players in the game, and that would help direct Dave and Twyla and their teams on potentially where to go or to revisit. I mean, look how many.
Okay, hence the call with Pruitt from Andy Bernard. When I listened to that, I didn't hear him saying, "You are not a suspect." He said concrete evidence and a few other things. And I was like, Andy, I think old boy just told you that, your name comes up. It's like calling law enforcement to say, hey, look at me. Look at me. If my name came up anywhere, right? It's a boy. And he's just freaking annoying. He's always in heat. I had to take him to the vet. I thought he was a kitten. And so I take him to the vet and I find out he's like 6 to 7 years old. And he, oh, yes, I'm getting him fixed. I swear I am.
Many times the poor girl in New England was moved as
Right.
as a corpse.
Harmony Montgomery. Yep.
Harmony was moved so many different places, right? And you know, and that was mind-boggling to me.
The guy freaking took her father, Adam Montgomery, took her to his work and put her in the meat locker or in the
Yeah.
walk-in freezer.
In a shopping bag, in a canvas shopping bag.
Mm.
Okay, he just
Horrifying case, Harmony Montgomery case. Horrifying. There's a lot of evil in the world. A lot of evil. You know, and I don't get political, but I just believe that, you know, everywhere in the world should just make marijuana legal. Really. I don't understand that. It's okay for the government to pay substance abusers to go and get on treatment for something that the government allowed a pharmaceutical company to do in the first place. But we're not getting political over here. I don't want to get off track. I apologize, class. I apologize. Okay? In my opinion. That's in my opinion. Get a little feisty about that stuff.
moved her from place to place to place. He didn't dispose of her until later in the game. I mean, how many? It's unheard of.
And it took us such a long time to get that information, right? It took him being collared, arrested, getting close to going up to trial. This information was released just recently,
Right.
and she was, you know, we had nothing. And that's the thing. What you talked about earlier, Ed, is about holding on to hope and law enforcement keeping things close to the vest. We know that TBI and Hawkins County and FBI have taken social media, taken phones, all of the digital data. They talked about looking at video.
And that's the thing. Okay. Law enforcement came out and said that they had all the devices, but then you heard Candace talk about a phone that was at home that she knew Hunter did TikToks because it was on her phone at home. And Chris was like, "Have you given it to him yet?" And she was like, I gotta go Thursday. Yeah, I'll take it then. It's like, in my opinion, feel like there was a lot of burner phones all around that area. All around the area. I know, Kiki. I know. That is true. That is true. I'll let it go because it's true. The best of the best was looking for summer. It just wasn't, you know, Churchill Rescue. There were so many people looking for her. The card team, no sign of abduction, which says that what's the other option if she wasn't abducted? Okay, so then you got to look at the other options. Don't think that do not think she couldn't have been kept in that area for a while. There's people who live back in the mountains that don't even go to town but once or twice a year. Hey, Nana for life. So, was she taken? kept in that area? Was she picked up in a vehicle and taken out of that area? I'm sorry, and I'm going to say this, but there's weird, evil people in the world, and they're out in the woods, and they've dug them 4 or 5 different freaking underground bunkers. If you do not believe that, I don't know what to tell you, class. I don't.
Valence, but they're not telling us what the results of those things are. We're not hearing about Don and Candace emails and text messages back and forth because they're not going to release that until something happens.
And nor should they.
Yeah,
I agree.
So
I agree.
So that's the difficult part for the people who don't understand
Yes,
why
Judy
that gets done.
Ron,
They
you're
think,
right.
well, it's secretive and they're being sketchy. Their law enforcement is doing this and doing that, and that's where things go askew. It just people have to realize that they're not holding it back to be dishonest with you. They're holding it back to build a case.
Right. We need to know things that only the bad guy would know.
Correct.
And we can't let the entire community know this so that we can judge the veracity of somebody's statement.
Right.
With what we know.
And I'll take that another step, Ed. I was watching a program last night where they were using a program where they you can do something to a car to tell you exactly what has where that car has traveled, what door was open, what time it stopped, what time the door was open. And to me, I still think that there's a lot of things that should be kept to the vest as far as technology wise, because the more that the law enforcement says that it's out there, the bad guy's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, I remember them saying that, so I can't use this." Does that make sense? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I just think that there should be things that
President Trump and Mike Braun had America on a roll. Booming economy, securing the border, and respect for law enforcement. It's time to get rolling again. Mike Braun, strong leadership for Indiana.
That aren't shared with the general public, and again, it's not to be malicious. It's just that it helps. It would help solve cases and not go so long in these things.
Unfortunately, these cases like this, they do tend to take a long time. Like look at our two boys out in Bakersfield. How long was that case start to finish?
Orrin and West. It took almost just a little bit over 2 years.
Right.
So again, and everybody was in the same position. All of the people who were following it were pissed off because there was nothing coming out. There was no updates by Bakersfield PD. The last update we got from them was when they did that search at Casaloma Apartments in that open field, and that seemed like an eternity. And then boom, 365 days after they took on the case, March, I believe it was March 1st. That March 1st, the next year in 2022, bam, Jacqueline and Trezell were locked up, arrested for murder.
Delphi.
The sad thing about Summers' case is it could take years. It could take years. And they have to look at all the options. They have to look at, she wandered off. Was she kept in that area? We know where they said that the scent ended, which was at the road. At the road. Could a substance abuser come up on that hill and take her? We have to remember from the get-go, Don was like, I'm gonna go to those meth heads' house and I'm gonna do this and that. Well, why was that his first thought? Right? Why was his first thought, I'm going down and I'm getting these meth heads and da 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 da? Right? The problem is these evil people are getting smarter. They're getting smarter. If there is a case and everything's put out there on the table, a lot of times these criminals, okay, I'm going to say this. Look at the Summer Wells case and the Sebastian Rogers case on social media. Right? I'm just saying. It's true. All right, let's
Yeah, and Delphi as well. I want to read a comment that I couldn't highlight. It came in from Jennifer Noble. She's been a platinum member for 2+ years. She says, Duty Ron, Ed, Dave, Twyla, and Trevor, thank you for everything you have done and continue to do to help find the
okay, so we're gonna switch over to another interview real quick. I believe this is where which is this one? Okay, hold on. I'm trying to find the one where Dave talks about meeting up with Don Wells.
where we are or broadcast and where we are, the exact location, and you did it for a reason, and that reason
And
is well
this
known.
was
You want to just let
2022.
everybody know the importance of keeping it close to the vest.
Again, we don't know who all the players of the game are. So when you don't,
President Trump and Mike Braun had
Oh,
America on a
no.
roll. Booming economy, securing the
Really?
border, and respect for law enforcement.
Oh my gosh. Go
have that
away.
kind of information and you go putting out where
Freaking political
what you've
ad.
covered in the thorough searches and you mark it off the list, the last thing that you want to do is broadcast that either through the news, the media, or through the social media end of this, because if somebody is still walking amongst us.
Kiki, are you serious? I'm a Hoosier. I'm a Hoosier, Dynamite. Heck yeah. You don't feel safe there either? Well, I mean, you can't feel safe anywhere anymore. Yes, as Equusearch is searching for Sebastian Rogers too. They sure are. And I'm gonna play a little bit of that too. You're a hoser from Canada. Okay, Pete Banjo.
Who committed that crime, then at that point in time, if they know exactly where you've been, they can go back and take that piece of either evidence or the body and actually move that to the location where you just said that you've cleared. So, and then you
See, that's very interesting, right? They don't want a criminal to know where they're looking. Right? So let's be professional and not go out there and freaking put where we're searching at on freaking social media. I'm just saying, sorry, makes me a little feisty.
you mark it off the list and you're not going to go back to there. So you haven't accomplished anything. You've actually helped them out, and that's not what we're all about. So
Exactly. And again, we're supplement, and Twyla, you know this too. I mean, we're all on the same page. We supplement what they're doing investigation wise, and we're lending a hand. And we spoke several times in regards to Summer Wells, David, Twyla, and I, publicly on live streams and also privately. There's no bill handed out by Equusearch to the Hawkins County Sheriff. So that's the great part about groups like this, is they go out, they use their resources, they get their people to go out there and search, and then there's no bill for it.
Yeah, that's the sad thing, Nana, for life, because that area is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It really is. And I think that You know, I look at it like this. Now tell me if I'm wrong. Don and Candace were not from that area, right? I don't think they were raised like in that area. And then they went there. I don't know. I'm looking at things a little deep right now, so. I'm saying there was a lot of them that was given Beach Creek a bad name, and it doesn't mean that everyone who lived there was a freaking pedo or substance abuser. You know, maybe they had them some moonshine every now and again. But yeah, I was really disappointed with a lot of people who talked about that, because it was made a big deal out of that about Dawn and Candace's septic system, we'll say. Okay. And I'm like, okay, well, you have to see where their location's at. There's you know. But anywho, that happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. You got a bad septic system, you got to figure it out one way or another, right? Oh, you think because of the traffic coming and going from Fred's? It was really weird to me when Lawson made a comment. And he said something like, talking about the him saying there wasn't, that was a dead end road. And I don't know. When he made the comment about the drugs in the area, that there wasn't no drugs in the area, that was a dead end road, he probably meant there wasn't a lot of traffic coming into the area because they were all getting their shit off of each other. Right? Didn't some little lady of the night's friend say that, oh, Don was in that in back of that, what was it, a motel, and you know, he was buying up all kinds of stuff to bring back home. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, the lady of the night's friend said it was true, so it's got to be true. Oh, oh my goodness. Yeah, it was his. Summers was a lot of people's first case. For real.
An adjoining county is not billing the current county for overtime, for all the incidentals and all the things that costs to do these searches. And that's the great part about Equusearch, and that's why I'm so passionate about what you do, Dave and Twyla, and I'm so invested in it, because I know that there's not many. There are some out there, but there's not many that do this day in and day out. And that's why I'm so proud of what you guys do, and I'm also honored to take time out to fundraise. And I'm not.
Yeah, Duty Ron was fundraising for them, but you can go to their go to Equusearch on Facebook, and you'll get a lot out. Okay, wait. Okay, here we go. I got it. Okay, here we go. Okay, now I'm on track. I found it.
Did you get to meet the Wells family? Did you get to meet both Summer's mom and dad? And if so, what can you say about it? Dave, I'll let you go first, and then Twyla, because I know you got a lot to say, Twyla.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had the opportunity to meet both Candace and Don. As everybody knows, it's not a big secret. Don was not a big fan of mine. He, said some pretty harsh things for not knowing me. But when we sat down and I did meet him face to face, we had a man-to-man talk, and we were under the understanding after that. And it's no big secret. I'll sit there and tell you, is the conversation that when I left it was that it's not about Don, it's not about Candace, it's about Summer, and it's about finding that little girl.
Dave checked you, Don. He wasn't playing your bullshit. You don't look. You don't have to watch the drama communities to know what's really going on. Dave just said what happened. Okay. Who cares if they're out there doing substances and I'm blaming you and I'm blaming you and I'm blaming you? Because this guy made it about your daughter and not you and your Cash App and your whatever. Don't even get me started on that.
Whether they want to help or whether they don't want to help, that's not going to sit there and change my mind or the direction of this organization to help law enforcement to find that little girl. So
why would you not? What do you know? What do you know, Dawn and Candace, that you had an issue with somebody who was really looking for your daughter? For real. Why wouldn't you like a guy? But you like Tim Mullins? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You're best friends with Tim Mullins and you wanna fucking talk shit about the guy who's really looking for your daughter? How about that? How about that? Freaking ruler drop. For real. Class, I hope you got what I said. Because I can't repeat it. Yeah. Lord. Lord, how did I get started today like this? I am also going to be talking about Megan's Law, okay? I am. That is a very important law. None of it makes sense, does it? None of it.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself as far as that goes, as far as personally. But from a standpoint,
Yeah, you heard Dave. I'm going to keep my mouth shut about personal stuff. Because he ain't playing. He wasn't playing with Dawn. He wasn't. You know, Dawn, oh, yeah, you know, SMH. These are the real, these really are, in my opinion, if you really are researching Summer, you use these facts. Use these facts. I'm just saying. Because if you get caught up in all of the little petty bullshit, you'll go down a rabbit hole forever. I'm just saying, really.
of the director for this organization for the Equusearch Midwest, that doesn't have any bearing as far as on us going and looking for this little girl.
Yeah, and that's the great part, is that this is nothing personal. This is you going out and doing the job that you do, and the way you do it, is the best way. You know exactly what you have to do. Twyla, again, you were there. You have a way of communicating nicely with everybody, and that's the great part about what you do. It's an important and it's an intricate part of this whole.
Now listen, class, because Twyla also spoke to, I don't know if it was both of them or one of them, if I remember right.
Well, you need to be able to get people to be comfortable with you, and at the same time gather information that will help you, not arrest, not bring people to justice.
Let me say this. Could you imagine, class, listen, I want you to really listen. I ain't playing. I am not playing. Could you imagine being in an organization like Equusearch and them trying to find a 5-year-old missing girl, and this missing girl's daddy is doing fuck shit, and they're drinking and they're doing their shit. How as how as a how do you fucking deal with that? They were trying to say that the cop who came up on the hill finally got Candace something to drink. A beer or something. That don't make any sense to me. They was a good guy. Yeah, one of them cops, they got Candace a beer. Oh, liquor. Thank you, Nana, for life. Liquor. They were like, girl, I know your daughter's missing. You come on over here. I'm going to buy you a bottle of R&R. Wow. Oh, my gosh. There's that cat again. I got to put him out. All right. I'm going to play this. Yeah, I'll be right back.
Bring the missing home, the lost home. Twyla, any takeaways from your interaction with Candace and Don?
I have interacted with them. I've interacted with Candace more. I don't form an opinion. I'm not going to form an opinion because my goal is to find Summer, and I don't have a problem with Don. I don't have a problem with Candace, because at the end of the day, what we're there for is to find Summer. I do still every so often talk to Candace, and it's just normal talk. I don't ask her questions. I'm not going to ask her questions. At this point, it's not my business of what happened to Summer. What my business is where is Summer.
Yeah, you say it well. Kudos to both of you guys. I remember, when you guys had that meeting with the family, I actually said to you, Dave, I've been around a lot of different situations as a detective in the New York City Police Department. It's hard to separate the job of what you have to do from feelings. But as a professional, we do that all the time, and I know you guys as well. So it was impressive to me that you were able to sit down and break bread with these folks. I personally wouldn't have been able to do that because my mindset is a little different. I'm thinking more along the lines of finding out who did this to her. But again, in my retired life, I know that I separate that and I reel it in, and I say, wait a minute, when I just handed my shield and my badge in and my ID, and now I have to become a civilian and help educate people on how the process goes.
Right.
Let me just say thank you to Grace Green for the $20 super chat. She says, did you know if Jody Sue allowed searches on the property she was living on? Now, listen, I'm going to just say this. Thank you for that super chat. Even if we did have that information, it would not be something that I would say, yeah, they searched it and it's clear. Again, we circle back to what Dave just said earlier, maybe 5 minutes ago. It's not in the best interest of Summer Wells to say, yeah, people were all over Jody Sue's property. They searched the shit out of it. And it's clear. We don't want to get into that. And that won't happen here. We're not going to do that. But thank you so much for that super chat. And I want to say also thank you.
Oh, ho, ho. I like Duty Ron. That's what I thought too, Dynamite. I thought, this is what I actually thought after I got to thinking about it. Maybe Candace was doing her stuff and they had to give her a little bit of liquor to calm her ass down a little bit. I don't know, though. I don't. Always just a thing.
To the new channel members, I think Ron Daniel sent in a super chat or a super sticker. You guys were talking, so I don't like to stop you guys. Tennessee Girl is a local from Rogersville, and she says, thank you for your love for Summer and all the missing. This is a local resident saying thank you to both of you guys.
Yeah, I do understand what you're saying, Katie Ann. What happened to Summer can point to where Summer could be. Yeah, that could be, yeah, I mean, that could be true. I see what you're saying. And everybody's got their theories about what happened to Summer. But I'm just saying, I wanted you guys to see where who was establishing all this chaos in Summer's case. Why would, even at the beginning, Don Wells have a problem with searchers? He even said he felt bad for the searchers because he knew she wasn't out there. That's what he said. These people are out there looking for Summer Moon Utah Wells, and Dad is saying, I know she ain't out there. I know she's been kidnapped. From the get-go. But misinformation gets around pretty easy, you know? It really can. If I could talk to the officer who gave Candace some liquor, I won't even put you on social media. I just want to know why. What was the reasoning for it? What time did Dawn say Candace would start drinking? Before he would get home. That's what he said. It's out there somewhere. You can feel free to go look at it if you don't believe what I'm saying. A little truth in every lie they tell. I feel sorry for reality because he isn't out there in the jerk store called. What? Are you talking about Sebastian Rogers' case? I don't know. I do not know. And then, out of a lot of things Don said, what bothered me the most was he essayed his 5-year-old stepsister. He said it was her fault. All kinds of weird shit, okay? And right after Summer goes missing, Don is in an area where he just happens to come up on a little 5-year-old girl. He decides he's going to go knock on that door, see if anybody's in there. You know, he kind of said a blah, blah, blah to the little girl. She said blah, blah, blah to him. And he goes to, I guess he was going to leave and he went back to the door. I don't remember. It was weird shit to me. He just comes upon another 5-year-old girl just a short time after Summer goes missing. And the mother went off about it. The mother went off about it. She wasn't happy. Yeah, her granddad was there. Don't forget, Don's a fucking creeper. He may be a creeped on Jody Sue, right? He could have been creeping on Jody Sue. The dude, when a woman was in her house asleep, went into her freaking garage and stole her red underwear. He's a predator. Seriously. But nobody ever listens to me. I'm serious, in my opinion. In my opinion. But people put out the information, but it's like, oh my God, Don got caught with red panties. Right? Don's record pretty much says what Don Wells is. You guys want to talk about trafficking? Candace's mom managed a hotel in Arkansas, I think. If I'm correct. Then Don's mom. She, what state? I can't remember what state she was a motel manager in. But you can go back and Don Wells tells a story. He tells the story that his mom managed a motel, I guess. Hotel, I don't know. They're all fucking places you get you pay for a room to stay in. And it was overtaken by drug dealers, you name it. So Don says his mom revamped that hotel. Okay. I'm trying to get the story right. Revamped that hotel where they allowed the drug suppliers to stay and even got security for the drug dealers. Am I lying? Somebody please tell me I'm lying, because I don't think I am. I think I remember that quite clearly. Don Wells says he'd been in a hotel room where, what'd he say? I believe he said crack addicts were doing things and allowing things to be done to little children. But he didn't realize what that was till he was older, right? Oh, gosh. It took me a lot of years to figure it out. How many times did it take you to figure it the fuck out, Don? Damn, I'm on a Don Wells fuck you kick today, ain't I? This is the problem. This is the problem. Anytime you talk about summer, you end up talking about Don or Candace. And I don't like to do that, but I'm just telling y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. These fucking people are for real. There's been really good people who have tried to help them. Girl, they do not want to help themselves. Are you kidding? These people were coming on social media and basically saying, I don't want to work tomorrow. All right, we got you. I hurt my ankle. I hurt my back. How do you think that they lived? The kindness of strangers. Right? Very sad. Summer's case, in my opinion, almost not everybody involved, but a lot involved. It came down to money. It came down to money. And Don Wells is a very greedy person. So I'm sure he loved that money coming in. Look at this. Sebastian Rogers' father has come out, what, about 25,000 or more on top with Sebastian missing, and he's looking for Sebastian. He's looking for Sebastian. Don't ever think that Don and Candace, I don't know if I could even calculate the amount of money that people have given them because their daughter went missing and they were not looking for her. They were not looking for her. They was at home with their bottle of R&R, okay, and whatever else they were doing. And doing live streams and showing people what they were doing. And people liked it. It was like a fucking reality TV shit. People love that shit. That's what scares me with Summer. That scares me with Summer. But the card team comes in and says no abduction. Right? No abduction. Hey, and you never know. Candace may have left, so she wasn't there when Summer was taken. What do you think about that? We don't know exactly when Summer went missing. We do know she was seen that day. Right? Wouldn't it be convenient for Candace to leave when Summer got taken? Because guess what? Then you can say, I don't know where Summer went. I don't know who took Summer. Right? Candace was supposedly seen at a gas station. Right? You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? But I have a hard time believing that somebody walked up that hill, took her, and carried her right back down. I have a hard time believing that. Now, I know the psychic saying stuff. A guy was standing there and one said he had on bib overalls, and I don't know. Tim Mullins could hardly even get down the damn thing. He did it in the fall, though. It's like, why are you showing it in the freaking fall? I don't know. I don't understand. After all this time and being 3 years in June, there's a couple theories. I truly want to believe that someone saved Summer. I do want to believe that. I do want to believe that someone was like, we got to get you out of here or you're not going to be here for long. But is Don Wells that psychotic and twisted that or his in his perversive mind? I'll put it like this. In his perversive mind, that the horrible things that he said could happen to his daughter, is that his perversive mind? Or can we look at it and go, what the fuck? You're talking about her getting hit in the head with a hammer? You're talking about her being in a motel with horrible things happening? And that's not even all. The list goes on and on of all these perverse, horrible things that Don Wells says happened to his daughter. And then he wonders why we're like, dude, you are fucked up. Can we look at it? Was she trafficked? She could have been trafficked in that area. Don't ever think that cannot happen. I don't know though. I wasn't there. Don does seem to like to shock people, but I'm sorry, that's psychotic. That's perversive shit. But I wonder who was telling him to do that. I heard a name. I forgot all about this. Well, we'll get into this another time. Benny, Doug, many others. There's a short out there. I have it somewhere. I'm not going to play it. Where Benny Keys, he says that he's talking to Molly Golightly or something, and he says, you want to know how to make money off YouTube. This isn't word for word verbatim, but you go and freaking write it out. For real. And you have people like that, but then you got parents like Don and Candace. I don't even know. That's why I say go back to the beginning. If newer channels, if you want, go back to the beginning. And only I don't know. I don't know. I'm telling you, Summer's case blows my mind.
I'd also like to let people know, we have pictures on our Facebook page. We have pictures on our web page. And I just want to let you know, those pictures that you see, we don't mind that you share them, but don't ever get the thought in your mind that those are areas that we've searched for an individual person. Because
okay, so I want to get out of that because I want to pull over to Sebastian Rogers and Equusearch. Let's see what they've said. Gosh, wait, I've already been on here an hour and 25 minutes. Yeah, Don and Candace gave us a ride. It was like being at an amusement park. Candace used to be a carny, right? Damn, Candace. Right? Candace was a carny. Yeah, I do hope the story was true that something bad was going to happen and certain people found out and they took Summer and put her somewhere safe. For real. And like I said, you guys can check out Equusearch website on Facebook. I do want to talk about Megan's Law also. Okay, now I know in my state, Megan's Law is the common term for the state and federal laws that create and maintain SEX offender registries. Hold on. Okay. Now, Megan's Law was named after a 7-year-old named Megan Conca, who was arred and unalived by a known child, Chester, who had moved across the street from the family without their knowledge. Megan's Law in the U.S. is the federal law that requires the release of relevant information to protect the public from sexual violent offenders. Megan's story is such a sad story. It is. Let's go over to that is the sex offender registries that we have. And I think you can go to, I think each state you can get a different, you can pull up the offenders in your area. Now, see, I thought it was strange that Don and Candace lived in that area for years, right? But they didn't know anybody. They didn't know anybody. If Candace was seeing a younger guy in that area, wouldn't you think that his mama or daddy would know who Candace is? All these people knew each other. For real. They all knew each other. Now, I did see a movie about Megan. And it's called Where's Megan, I think. And it's not Little Megan. It's, yeah, different movie. All right. Let me pull up the Equusearch and hang on, because it's on Duty Runs. Duty Run. Duty Run, Duty Run. He is on the job. Duty Run. I'm sorry, I had to. Okay, I want to listen to a little bit of this with you guys. Hold on. Because this is about Sebastian Rogers. I will listen to them. All right, this is going to be interesting. This is about Sebastian Rogers. Class, please, please, please listen to them.
Or just turn it off. Turn it off.
Oh, wait. Oh, man, you guys don't want me to do it that fast. Shit. That was fast. Lord have mercy.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna mute her for a second. Dave, I wanted to go to you. We just played this piece from the Nashville affiliate, our good friend Nick. He's been covering his case so strongly. And Dave, you guys were called back in by TBI as per Twyla and our conversations. Can you just tell our listening audience a little bit about, and I'm going to step back once Twyla comes and we'll go back to the beginning, but Sebastian Rogers, how does this all come about? How do they reach out, or how does this all work with TBI or whatever agency it is that reached out to you guys and you got the ball rolling? How did you guys come to coming back for those 2 days and search with them?
Actually, it all started with Shane up with the drones. He has TBI as a customer.
Shane in Canada?
Shane in Canada, correct.
Okay.
And he reached out to Twyla and put her in contact with the TBI agent. They only wanted the technology. They didn't want to do the foot search, the ground pounding, or anything else. They wanted to throw the drones, the technology at this first. So that's why the guys went down, flew this with Twyla, ran through all of the imagery. They used the M3M, which is the ground disturbance, and then they also used the thermal, and found.
Please, class. If they did not think that Sebastian walked away from that home, do you think it would be important for them to ask Equusearch for their equipment? I'm just putting that out there. Okay, you can have your opinion about whatever you want.
Nothing, and they were down there for I think 2 days also. And then after that was taken care of, then Twyla was, of course, since she's the search coordinator on this, she was the one who was in contact with the main TBI agent, and at that point in time, let her know probably about a week to a week and a half prior what they wanted to accomplish in the future. So it basically took them probably about a week and a half in order to put this last search on with other agencies around in and around Tennessee. We were the only search team that was invited into the search area because of the technology that we have.
Ding, ding, ding. The only organization that was invited into the searches because of their technology.
You're talking about volunteer search teams, right? Because we did see a lot of fire department search and rescue. Those are county, adjoining counties or people from within. I also saw a Hendersonville SWAT team, a lot of police and fire. But you, Equusearch Midwest, were the only volunteer search group that was invited in at that search last week, correct?
That is correct. Yes, everybody else was first responders. We were the only outside organization that are volunteer that was invited in, and that was only because of our technology that we have at hand.
Right. And there was ground searching and anything from the air at that time, or was all the drone searching done prior to this?
No, I mean, we went back over quite a few things. Danny came down, one of our drone pilots. Tony couldn't make it, unfortunately, because of work, and Twyla. And again, Twyla, was multitasking. She was not only spearheading the whole thing as far as for us, but she was also running imagery for the drones. And then we also had the water covered by our remote controlled sonar unit. We did.
Let me tell you guys something. Twyla is a very respectable person in this organization. Okay? Twyla is very, very intelligent. Now, when they first came out, people were pulling up stuff that Twyla had done years and years before that. Okay, she was on Jerry Springer. I can't remember what she was doing on Jerry Springer. But they tried to discredit this woman. They tried to discredit this woman and what she was doing, making it seem like she wasn't good enough or not to believe her. That really happened, people. I've seen it with my own eyes. So sad.
Literally 43 ponds plus.
Oh, I'm talking about with the Summer Wells case. I ain't seen them do it on this one yet.
in 2 days' time, and that is that's a lot. That was an understatement. That's a lot.
Let me stop you right there. Hold on. Did you say that Equusearch Midwest searched 43 ponds in 2 days?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we 43, and that was not
43 ponds. They looked for Sebastian. 43. 43 in 2 days.
only droning them, but also using the sonar units in each one of those ponds that were accessible, and also that actually some of them didn't have water in them, so we were kind of reconning as we go. But yeah.
Have you guys ever heard that people with autism are drawn to water? I think I'm thinking about it right. Children with autism are drawn to water. Google it. Google it. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, there were some that weren't even on the map that was marked that we found, and we went ahead and did those. So there was 43 plus ponds that we did. Absolutely.
Now let me ask you, because I want to add Twyla back in. I think she's given the thumbs up. I see her in the green room there.
Hey, Nada.
Dave, were there law enforcement, the local, state, or federal, TBI, or whatever it was there anybody assigned to you guys to help you safely move about to your search zones? Because, you know, we heard some of these rumors from the United Cajun Navy getting death threats and so forth. But were you guys under the auspice of, say, a law enforcement team or something, for the listening audience that might not know how this works?
Each team, you know, again, law enforcement was represented by law enforcement, but as far as,
Let me put it this way. People don't fuck with Equusearch. Equusearch's main priority is to see if they can find a missing child, not play with YouTubers, not get death threats. They work with law enforcement. Didn't work out real well for him in the Summer Wells case. I figured, you know, Sebastian Rogers, they know not to fuck with Equusearch. Huh. I don't know. Just a little thought. Just a little thought I had. Okay. You know me. I think weird. I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo.
our team was, we had a total of 3 TBI agents, one for the drone and one for the water, the sonar.
Thank you.
And then we also had a floater at the time also. So we were constantly, and it wasn't because of our safety. That there's, you know, nobody's wanting to kill somebody for trying to find a 15-year-old child. I don't know where the hell that comes from, but there's
Ding, 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 ding. Class, what is Dave Radar giving you a lesson about? Who goes around and takes down missing flyer posters of a 15-year-old? I don't know if anybody did. I ain't seen no receipts, right? Who sends death threats to anyone looking for a missing child? Who does that? They're like, oh, I bet it's the people who have him. No. It's called content. Creators creating. Creators create. That's why they're called creators.
there's nobody threatening anybody. You know why they put.
Well, Dave, you are a pretty big guy. I don't know if I'd want to go up against you. I'm just saying. Dave's got muscles like this. I haven't seen the video of him taking down flyers anyway. No one took down flyers. Maybe the businesses. Some businesses don't allow it be the bean. Very good point. Some don't. Okay. I think I even heard JLR say that. Did I hear JLR say that? I think I was like, damn, JLR, you actually talking fact. I like JLR. Don't get me wrong.
TBI agents with us is to secure anything that if we did find anything, We have law enforcement right there with comms, with constant communication back to the command center. So that's the reason why that happened, like it did with the EMA putting the TBI agents on with us.
Dave, you know what I love about you is you knew that slang term, the comms, that people might not understand it, and you said with the communication. So perfect. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, brother. And you've been doing this a long time. You're not.
You guys, I'm telling you, make sure you go over and check out this interview. I'm not going to go through all of it. I do want to hear a little bit of what Twyla has to say.
Document
Hey,
the
Steven.
ground coverage that you do. And I know it's assignments that are given out, but people want to.
Hey, drop Be the Beans link for me, and drop Dino's link, and drop Tia's link, and drop oh my gosh, she's my favorite person. Well, no, you all are my favorite people. Okay, don't get me wrong. Girl, I am so mad at myself for not remembering. Okay, too much 420. We 420 over here. I'll think of it. I promise. Dang it. She was just in here the other day. I showed some of her stuff.
know, like what's the rhythm and rhyme to success with Equusearch Midwest and searching for the missing? How do you guys do this?
Oh, you guys make sure you drop Stevens too. Oh, whistle while you lurk. Yeah, there's one other one. I think it's a C. Somebody with a C. Dang it. I really like her too. Steven, you still got a link to your channel, right? We dropping links today. Thank you, Sassy Ann.
We have
Cursed.
different
Thank you,
types
Flies. Cursed with curiosity. I'm sorry, babe.
if it's a search that we're doing, we have different type of resources that help us out with putting us in different areas. Dave is very, very, very good at looking at a map and saying, okay, from my experience, this would be a good area, that would be a good area. Under when we went in for Sebastian's case, we were under EMA is the one who coordinated the search, but we went in under TBI, and they had areas marked in
EMA is Emergency Medical Assistance, if I'm not mistaken.
sections and had different groups going into different sections. They gave us radios that only the agencies and the officials that was there with us, I mean, we were the only ones that was able to, communicate with each other through that radio. And our assignment, like Dave said, was the technology end of it. Like we had spoke before, that me, Tony, and Danny had went in a couple weeks ago and did the drone end of it. And then this time we went in, we had a couple of ground pounders, foot searchers, and we took the sonar. Those girls rocked it. I mean, they covered these ponds in 2 days. And then Danny, what we did for checks and balances is me and Danny would go with the drone, and we would put the drone up over these areas that had water, and then the girls would go, and then the other two girls that was doing the sonar, they would go over to these ponds, and me and Danny and the two sonar girls, we were in constant contact with each other with, for an example, this pond is dried up, or this one that's marked as a pond is a swim.
Now, I'm going to say this. I am not discouraging anyone for going and looking for Sebastian. Okay? I'm not discouraging anyone from going and looking for Summer. I'm not. And I can see where some individuals go out and maybe record what they're doing. But in some instances, in my opinion, it goes too far. It goes too far. It becomes, this is just my opinion on a lot of them, it becomes more about the clicks and views and the little bit of money you make off YouTube or your members or whatever, you know, that begins to, I just feel like there's got to be a line drawn on, there's just, I don't know. I don't know. Y'all know what I mean. You got to draw the fucking line, okay? With what you're going to put out. I mean, I watched somebody, a couple, I ain't even going to say their freaking name, go to a park. They go all the way to Florida and they're in a park watching other people's children. And I ain't even going to get into that. There's got to be a line drawn. I feel in so many ways that these children are victims. And it's worse because they're children. And I just think that it goes to the extent that why do people feel that it's okay to re-victimize a victim? For real. And it happened in Sebastian's case. If Sebastian is okay somewhere and he was watching any of that, how do you think that 15-year-old boy's going to feel knowing that that was put out for the whole world to hear? Is there no privacy for victims anymore? Some people, and this is true, some people believe that by not going along with Dawn and Candace's narrative, that they're doing Summer an injustice. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. That's how some people feel. I don't want to show Candace and Dawn any hate, because if Summer's ever found, then, I don't want her to, that is the truth. I'm telling you guys, that is the truth. I don't want to do that to Summer. Those are her parents. Right? So then I have to ask the question, do these people, some of these people, really give a fuck about Candace or Dawn? Because if Summer's found, they can be close to Summer. I'm just saying. I mean, it's just question. I'm weird. Y'all know I'm freaking weird. Right? Here's the truth. I have more credentials to find the truth than some, but don't make videos about it. That's the way it should be. Because if you're really looking for the truth, I mean, I held back on talking about Summer because I am so wrapped up in the Summer Wells case that, I had to just stop. I had to just stop. Because I kept seeing things. I wanted all the information I could find. I was watching a bunch of different channels, but the information that I kept wanting to get was more into bullshit drama, and it does, that whole scenario gets just was overwhelming. Are you kidding, Nana? I don't know if I would want to be on around that channel if somebody said I was stupid for what I believed in. The thing about it is, the honest thing about it is, nobody knows what happened to Sebastian. So how can you sit there and make somebody, that's just going with somebody's narrative. Oh, the Florida vacation people? Girl, he needs to find some truth is what he needs to do. Oh boy, needs to find some truth. Because I'm telling you, that Florida stuff, that was whack. That shit was whack. I'm telling you. Sad. But see, that's like I used to tell people about the Summer Wells case. Go to the CARD website, right? Go to the CARD website. It'll tell you how they interacted and what they found with Summer's case. TBI tells you they've got a Q&A about Summer's case. And I truly believe that whatever happened to Summer, I truly hope that, and I said this before, after Summer went missing, we seen a lot of people get busted for things, I'll say, right? And I kept in my mind going, that's Summer getting them, right? Let me tell you, when Candace and Dawn lived in that area and they say they didn't know there was any RSOs in that area, I don't fucking believe that for a minute. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't believe any of them saying, well, yeah, that was my neighbor, but I didn't know anything about him. For the ones that had been around there for a long time. Genevieve, Genevieve. There's that Genevieve in the house. But why lie? Let me tell you guys something. And Candace just came out not long ago and said that she had been touched or whatever when she was 5 years old. She said that. I think it was on Kolaka's channel. 5 years old. Summer was turning 5. Dawn had just came back. What was it? October of 2020. From allegedly 6 months in Utah. And by June of 21, Summer's gone. About 8 months, right? Warren Harrer was Candace's uncle. Who was imprisoned for incest. And the state of, I believe, Wisconsin did not ever want him to be released in public. They didn't want him released. But somehow he got released. And oh boy, I bet he wasn't happy when JLR showed up outside of his house. Right? Worst SO in the state, absolutely. Candace's uncle. For real. You know, even thinking about that reminds me of the Sloan Bella reading. I have that in my list somewhere. Hang on, you guys. Give me just a minute. Give me a moment, children. Okay, sorry, I got cotton mouth. I got cotton mouth real bad. Hey, Sandy, did I say hey? So, Lawson said it wasn't necessary for Equusearch to come back out. So, a lot of people assume because he said that he might know what happened to Summer. Now, I watched a movie. I hadn't seen it for a long time. And it's got Joaquin Phoenix in it. And he is a vet. And he basically saves children, right? And at the beginning of the movie, it was really weird because at the beginning of the movie, and I'd never noticed it before, he saves this little girl and he goes and makes a call and says, it's done. And I was like, wait a fucking minute. Wait. Joaquin Phoenix makes a phone call and all he says is it's done after he saved a little girl. I mean, is it that? I don't know. It's fucking weird. I'm sorry. It's fucking weird. Right? I mean, some things that are said by Don and Candace or actions are things that have happened or been said in other missing child cases. Some are going missing was like their own fucking movie, right? All right, Genevieve. Right? No, he got out, Sassy Ann. I thought he got out. Unless they put him back in again. He got out and that's where he was. And I believe he got out. But look, I just want you guys to know that there are people that did search for Summer and that are now trying to help with Sebastian. Okay. It's not about it's not about clicks, views, and anything but trying to find these kids. And there's probably people who are like, I don't like Equusearch. I don't like them because of this and this and this. But yeah, social media, they sure tried to make it different, didn't they? Tim Miller, that started Equusearch, he founded Texas Equusearch after his daughter was unalived. We'll just scroll down here a little bit. Tim Miller's daughter, Laura, was 16 years old. Was 16 years old. I'm not going to get into the whole story. You can watch. I don't know if it's on Netflix. I don't know what it's on, but there's watch the Texas Killing Field. But go to your state and pull up Megan's Law, and you should be able to be connected to pull up the registered offenders in your area. What do we know about this little missing boy? Let me pull him up here. Rylan Nathaniel Bledsoe. Rylan Nathaniel Bledsoe. Kingsport, Tennessee. All right, we're going to do all right, here's Rylan, everybody. Rylan Nathaniel Bledsoe, missing since April 8, 2024, Kingsport, Tennessee, age now 13 years old. Boy, there's not a lot out about him, is there? Not a lot out about him at all. Let me check out the news. Let me check out the news. I ain't seeing it. Wow. I'm not seeing a lot on this. Yeah, maybe he would no, because he's on the missing Center for Exploited Children. Right? He had a beige cast on his right arm. I just Googled his name and I'm not getting anything up. I'll do some research into it. We'll talk about it. We shall talk about it. Well, I just hope you guys that, what was put out. Good point, Genevieve. Now, Genevieve says that, okay, he's been missing since Monday. And she says that when children are found and authorities determine imminent danger, they won't release information on the minor child. Great point, Genevieve. Good point. Good point. So I just hope you guys go check out Duty Ron and, what else you might want to know about Sebastian's case. Okay. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Oh, my sinus is freaking horrible. But it's very sad that, you know, even going back to the beginning of Summer's case, it was chaos from the very beginning as far as with her parents, people who were associating with the parents. You know, I don't understand. And I'll never probably truly understand it. But like I said, Don Wells talked about people who had money could give give children a better life, and you know, and this gets me too. The letters, the letters that Don writes while he's in jail, right? The letter to the kidnappers and all this other shit. Don didn't write those letters. Don did not write those letters. I believe Prayer Garden, when she says that, she said she wrote those letters to try to, I don't know what the fuck she was trying to do. Everybody who looked at those letters knew Don didn't write them anyway. Why would you do such things for a man that you can't truly in your heart say is not guilty of what he had done or what happened to Summer? Who can truly in their heart be like, oh, I'm for Summer, when you don't know what happened? I find that disturbing. I don't know, just me. Just me. Yeah. The influential facilitators. I almost didn't say that right. I know that there were a lot of newer creators in Summer's case that kind of got wrapped up into some things that I don't think that they researched, you know, some things that were going on the YouTube streets, and they were kind of getting caught up in. Maybe they didn't research, you know, how to appropriately do something. Sure. I mean, sure. And then did some people know exactly what they were doing and how they wanted the narrative to go? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I have talked about Uncle Warren before. Come on, I'll show you Uncle Warren, everybody. There he is. Clark County Sheriff's Office is releasing the following information pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute 301.46 2M, which authorizes law enforcement agencies to inform the public of a SEX offender's release when in discretion of the agency. The release of information will enhance public safety, awareness, and protection. The individual who appears on this notification has been convicted of a SEX offense. Further, his criminal history places him in a classification level which reflects the potential to re-offend. Re-offend. Hey, Derek. Oh, no, you're fine, Sassy Ann. You're fine. Sometimes I don't remember right. It's always good to have somebody, you know. Listen, further his criminal history places him in a classification level which reflects the potential to re-offend. To re-offend. This is Candace's uncle, y'all. There he is, Uncle Warren. He served his sentence imposed on him by the courts. He's not wanted by law enforcement at this time. This notification is not intended to increase fear. Rather, it is our belief that an informed public is a safer public. Now, this notice isn't to increase fear, but he's in a classification level that reflects the potential to reoffend. Uncle Warren, everybody. His crimes were horrific. Horrific. And we all know what incest means, right? Mm-hmm. For real, right? Da-da-na-na-na-na-na-na. One medium that I definitely listened to in the Summer Wells case, and I wasn't going to do this today. We'll do it real quick. It's a short reading Sloan Bella did about the Summer Wells. I think this is the only one she's ever done, and this was done before the boys were even taken. Okay. Now, I don't say that you have to believe in psychics, but when you listen to any mediums or anything like that, listen to what they're saying, because a lot of it is just common sense. Okay? Common sense. He lives in Wisconsin. KDM. All right. I'm going to turn the closed captions on. I'm going to speed it up. Hopefully I don't make her too fast. If I do, I'll slow her down. This is a reading 2 years ago that Sloan Bella did on Summer Wells. I'll give you the date. Hang on, let me find the date. July 3rd, 2021. July 3rd, 2021 is when this reading was done by Sloan Bella. And I will commentate on it, but I want to get through it pretty quick because I'm at 2:20. I'm about tuckered out here, y'all.
Around the circumstance as it's presented publicly. So we present things in a public manner that we hear on the media, the news, wherever we hear it from.
Right.
And then there's the energy behind what happened. And the veils of energy are very deep and layered in particular situations. Usually when somebody goes missing, it's not just a matter of they just disappeared, poof, off the planet. So the energy that I look into is kind of multifaceted, and I try to get through to the bottom of the circumstances that were going on at the time the person or the child went missing. That's what I mean by an energetic channeled video. In this particular case, I'm talking about little Summer Wells. Summer was 5 years old. She lived in Rogersville, Tennessee. And on June 15th, she was in the garden with her grandma and her mom. And I think they said she went in the house and then she was never seen from again. Now, I read up a bit, and as far as you guys introduced me to this little girl missing, I don't watch the news. So on one of my lives, you guys were talking about her. And the family of Little Summers is very interesting because it would be very easy to blame the family given their past discrepancies with domestic violence issues on the father's part, the mother's part, all of that. It would be very easy to sort of put the focus on the parents, but immediately and right off the bat, I don't feel this was an abduction by the parents in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. She did this a couple weeks after Summer went missing. Many have believed that it wasn't due to Dawn and Candace and their dysfunctions, I'll say. But what she says about family is really important.
So Summer's parents are probably enduring some kind of hell at the moment with their daughter missing. And I'm aware that she has 3 siblings, I believe 3 brothers. Now, here is what I got, because it's very, very layered, like an onion. You just keep peeling back things and the energy is very, very layered. I'm going to go to Summer's mother's side of the family, first and foremost, because that side of the family has what I will call a familiar pattern that's been handed on down of dysfunction throughout the family, throughout the family, throughout the family. The family on her mother's side has a lot of energy spores.
Now listen to what she's talking about. The dysfunction going down the mother side of the family.
That have been stuck on the family's name or the children within the family. I'm talking before Summer's mother was born, and I'm talking to the great-grandparents and on down. There seems to be some sort of a dysfunctional, I'll use the word balance, that's being played out within the context of this family. And it's continued to roll on down, which is very interesting. It's not interesting for the mother, but when you look at the energy of it, there are so many convoluted aspects to this that it would be very hard for anybody to figure out what happened, because it's a set of circumstances like dominoes or Jenga when you put them all together like this and they go into a pile and then you pull one out and either it falls or continues. In her mother's case, this continues.
Is that too fast for you guys? Is that too fast for you guys? I think that may be too fast for you guys. Anywho, I'll get into that again another time. Go watch Sloan Bella. She talks about Summer Wells case. Excuse me, damn. I am sorry, y'all. Sloan Bella talks about Summer's case one time, and that's all. So go check her reading out. She gets into some things she says about Summer's case is really interesting, because she's talking about the energies and the family dysfunction.
Mute on down. And I would almost say that there's energetic tags stuck to the family's energy in kind of in the area of dysfunction. So it was not able to be cleared. Nobody was doing the full healing on the way down the line in that family. As I'm saying this, it's a very interesting thing, because with the lack of, quote, focused healing in a family trauma or event or energy thrown at a family because of a different circumstance. I don't know anything about the background of Summer's mother's family. I don't know like their religious affiliation, but I do get, because the family at some point, and it's probably 4 generations before Summer's mother was born, so it would be her 3 grandparents back from her being born, 4 from Summer's, great grandparents, and on. I feel the family separated from a family, I'll put the word religion or family ideology, and this is what started the breakage of the family. So there have been karmic balances, and this happened with Summer's mother disappearing. This is not a coincidence, by the way. The energy around this. Now I'm looking at.
I believe she was talking about Rose. Rose missing. I don't think she meant to say Summer's mother going missing. Oh, Tinker Tank.
Energy, not like specific people at this point, but the energy around this has continued on down. Now, as I started to focus on Summer, the first energy that I got from her is she was extremely fun, and she was what I would call a precocious child. She loved to have fun. She loved to play. I see her liking to put her boots on. This has something to do with the day that she disappeared. I feel she knows the person that she went with. I feel she went close enough to this person to get abducted, meaning she went over to a car, over to a truck. I actually see a truck, and I see a truck with like a handyman.
Uh-oh. Here's flies when she's mad, y'all. Watch out. Here's flies. That's what happens when you piss her off. Oh, calm down, flies. Calm down, girl. It'll be all right. I swear, it'll be okay.
Things on the back. I don't know if that means a ladder or tools or paint buckets, but it's interesting. The driver of the truck, I feel, is different from the person who abducted her, who I feel is different from the person who orchestrated it. So I'm getting like a lineage of 3 different people. So I feel
3 different people. Could Summer have went down that hill and went with somebody? Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, I talked about her possibly even, you know, in my opinion, been able to be kept in that area. For real. 3 different people. Yeah.
that it's very, very enmeshed with different groups of people. Now, the dysfunction within this family stemmed from both sides. I mean, that's most people, most human beings. But in Summer's case, she was very free and easygoing. She's a child. She's 5. She liked to wear these little boots, and she liked to go down. I'll use a word like a pond. Where I grew up, they have ponds. It's not the ocean. It's like where tadpoles live and frogs live. She kind of liked this thing. She was a little bit of a tomboy. She liked to get dirty. She liked to play like that. She was very physical and fun, and she laughed a lot. She giggled a lot. And then she was also very observant and very well aware of boundaries that she needed to avoid. This is what I get. So she, to me, was going to end up being a psychic child. When I use that term, I'm using the term for a child that grows up in a house that's somewhat dysfunctional, with a lot of adult concepts introduced early on in life. So I see this with Summer. I see this with her energy. What I do see, and it's
Now,
very
this is what's interesting. Okay. Candace did her interview 13 days after Summer went missing. And Sloan Bella did this reading on July 3rd. What date? Oh, gosh. Damn it. Okay. Hold on. I'm looking at my notes. Hold on. Da-da-da-da. I'm looking at the date that Candace did her interview. Okay, wait. Was it June 28th? Thank you, Flies. June 28th. That's what I pulled up also. And Sloan did her reading on July 3rd. Okay. That's interesting, right? So, but Sloan's talking about the energies. And I think she's spot on with these energies and never getting the appropriate help in this dysfunctional family and for, previous victims of that family. Look at Uncle Warren. That was Candace's mom's brother. His charges were incestuous. And then you got Don Wells. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Interesting. Somebody took her down to a pond or a stream. I can't see if it's a round pond or if it's actually a stream. What I can see, or the image I got in my head, was of green leafy, and it always reminds me of corn dogs on a stick, bulrush. You know the bulrushes, for those that live near ponds, the plants that come up and they have the brown end on the top, and it's like a swampy bulrushy, but it's more an East Coast type of a thing. So I get the connection like that, the swamp, the pond. Anyway, I feel like she wanted to play like that. I do feel like she was summoned out of her house. This was an error in her judgment. She's 5, but for some reason, the person that summoned her, she knew this person. Okay, now here's what's interesting. I kind of cross over when I'm seeing that. So it's like the images kind of fold over. I see her 3 siblings, and I'm not sure how old her oldest brother is, but this is somebody that's like her oldest brother. This is somebody who is...
And this interview was done. Sloan did this interview before the boys were taken, if I remember correctly.
Either acquainted with her oldest brother, familiar with the family, connected through the oldest brother. This could be school, after school program, baseball, basketball, scootering, dirt bike riding, whatever it is. I get a connection. So this is somebody that has communicated with Summer's oldest sibling. Then I flash over to the picture of Summer in the paper where she had her head shaved because of lice. Now, any of you that have little kids, myself included, when I had my little kids, there was always a lice scare, even in the city, even in Burbank, lice scare. The school's calling your home saying, somebody came to school with lice, and then all the moms are freaking out. Me, I'm looking through the kid's hair going, do I really want to shave the kid's head? Probably not. So I'm just going to put some whatever deters lice in their shampoo and just try to do it that way. But then I would get creeped out and wash all the bed sheets. So the lice scare is a real thing. In this particular instance with Summer, I get this a little bit differently. I see immediately with the shaving of the head, power and control. She was being prepared for something. Now,
recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce.
What do I mean by that? Let's say you have a child. This is hypothetical. Let's say you have a child and you do a lot of drugs. Drugs where you smoke and light a pipe, right? So your mind, you got a room full of people, you got a house full of people, you kind of float off because you're really high. So you get out of your energy field. You're not focused on what's around you. You're just enjoying the high. It feels euphoric. So you're choosing not to see why your child is being prepared. You're choosing to not see it because it's triggering something in you that you haven't worked out. So you turn around and you don't look. You deliberately don't look. Summer's hair, from what I'm feeling, was shaved in order to teach her a lesson. She spoke out about something. There was a speaking out of something. So her head got shaved. The lice is a good story and it could be possibly part of that, but that's not what I'm getting. So, but again, all kids are said to have lice. Like all of y'all probably had somebody call and say, so-and-so has bugs, shave your kid's head. Just a thing that goes around sandboxes, playgrounds, etc. But this was different with Summer, and she was being prepared. The wording that I heard, and I've tried to do this video, I always say this, but I really did try to do this video 3 times.
Oh, I apologize, you guys. It's getting cold. It's rainy. It's nasty today. So why not listen to Remain Calm shit, huh? Come hang out. And I want to talk about something. Do you guys... Dang it, I got it. See, I'm getting deep here, y'all. Oh, shit, where is it? I'll let you listen to Sloan while I try to pull up. Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. Okay, here we go.
Getting interrupted, but the wording that I heard, okay, was an elite deacon. I went back to the month of March. So in the month of March, April, Easter, this is being thought about since that time frame. This is something that's been working in motion, in conjunction. This is something that has also been going on in Summer's family between her and her siblings. Again, I'm not going to say it graphically, but there's dysfunction within the family unit. Now, keep in mind, if one kid slaps another kid, it's usually because somebody's slapping one of the kids. If one kid abuses a kid, punches them, stomps on them, sexually abuses them, it's because somebody's abusing that kid, and it gets handed on down.
Ding, ding, ding. Thank you, Sloan. Bella. Okay, I don't have a really good picture of this. And I could go find it, but I'm not going to. Of Summer Wells with her little red dress on in church with her red shoes on. Red shoes mean something. Red shoes mean something to traffickers and Satanists. And I will get into that one day with y'all, okay? A child wearing red shoes means something. Ah. Well, Katie Ann Sloan did this interview soon after Summer went missing. So, of course, we know a lot of what she's saying now. And then we've got the red barrel with for sale on it. Then we basically got Don, in my opinion, talking about his little stories. Don was a drug trafficker, in his own words. In his own words. May mean something, may mean nothing. Maybe that's why I look at Summer's case the way that I do. But then again, I don't want to look at it this way. I really don't. Yes, they can, ma'am. Okay. Oh, yeah, you have, Katie Ann. You've heard of the flute man, David Dodson, that plays the flute every night. Thank you, Be the Bean. Traffickers don't care what they traffic. They don't. They don't care what they traffic. And guess what? If you don't think that Don Wells didn't know that a child could be used repeatedly to make money off of them, you're absolutely wrong about that, in my opinion. If you don't think that Don Wells didn't know that more money was made off of trafficking a child than it was off of dealing the freaking dope, you're wrong about that. I could almost bet money on that. Right? I kind of believe that. I went quiet. Oh. Oh, welcome to my low budget channel. We 420 it over here. If I just kind of woo-saw out for a moment, my mods get me back to where I need to be. Okay, sorry about that, Sloan. I'm sorry, Sloan.
It just wasn't thought of at the time. And that's very easy to get immersed in your own stuff, not pay attention. I've done it many times myself when my kids were little. So there's this feeling of like nobody's paying attention as the energy is surrounding Summer. She was coveted for a reason. So there's a covetingness of Summer. And I am hearing that they're going to try to make it one person's fault, but it isn't. There's 3 of them connected to it. And it was specific. It was planned out. She was prepped with her head being shaved. That does not mean the person who shaved her head knew anything about this. It's more of an energetic thing. So I want kind of to do this. This is a very interesting case. I want to kind of explain that when an energy comes into a person's energy or etheric body. So if I throw my energy over onto somebody, if their intention is stronger and it's gathering steam from behind the scenes, it can cause a lot of damage to the person. It can cause a lot of damage. In this case, Summer was being set up and prepared for this. She was prepared. The cameras.
Okay, so we got Candace who was letting people up on the hill, right? We've got all of these messed up people around Summer. Yeah, I need to send my mods their own ruler. I've got some rulers. I was going to make them all fancy and stuff. I just hadn't had a chance to. So 3 different people. A younger person that came up there, right? That got Summer out. That possibly was associated or knew of the oldest boy. He then takes her somewhere else. She's passed off like 3 times, right? Lord, Jesus, take the wheel.
Going crazy again. She was prepared for this. I'm literally trying not to move so it doesn't do that, but it's doing it. She was prepared for this. Her hair was shaved for this reason. She was in the process of being prepared. She was laid down on something. This wasn't really an accident. This was a thought out plan to grab this child, definitely abducted. I do feel like the oldest boy sibling, and I don't know those kids' names.
Okay, now she feels this way, but why didn't the card team feel that way? Could she have felt this way because she wasn't considering an abduction where Summer was kept in the area, and maybe her vibes were going towards, Summer being trafficked like far away? You guys remember, I can't remember off the top of my head, Jody Sue talking about Summer would be, what'd she say, 7 minutes down the road or some shit like that? You want some pom-pom rulers? Girl, I can do that. I can do that. I can do a pom-pom ruler. Heck yeah. I mean, I am always curious on why Tim Mullins decided to start an Amber Alert family program. How within a matter of a short time, Tim and Dawn are best buddies. Why they were even trying to get people to sign NDAs who came up on the hill. I think because it was fucked up evil on that hill, and they really didn't want a lot of that getting out. But Dawn and Candace was putting a lot out on their own. 7 minutes, but the problem with that is 7 minutes will get you to Highway 93 or 11 West or Interstate 81.
Thought, but because he knows it, like he's thinking about it, and it's thinking. So I do feel that. I don't feel like she was struggled out of her house. I don't feel like anybody put a bag over her head and took her away. But what I do see is that after she was taken, something was put over her face to make her sleep. I do see that. So when I'm looking at her energy, this is a child that was willing to go without thought. She's 5, okay? She's 5. She's playing in her house. This shouldn't be happening. This should not be happening. The city is blocking something. So the people in the neighborhood are blocking something. Obviously not all of them, but there is a block to what's going on until the energy clears. This is something else. It's like
until the energy clears. And guess what? Nobody's let the energy clear. Now, is the energy kind of clearing up with people jumping on the Sebastian Rogers case? Does that help subside that energy in the Summer Wells case? Yeah, I'm sure a little bit, right? We're just talking energies here, okay? Yeah, Sloan Bella. Hey, we Scotch Mom. Sloan Bella.
if you draw a circle around a child, let's just say, if you draw a circle around a kid, like you're playing some kind of game and you put the kid in the middle and you set a ring of fire around the circle. So on the outside, you dig a trench and you set the fire around there and the fire rises up really, really strong. The child can't get out of the circle. Look at the fire as energy and people's intent. Look at it as prayer and intent of focus, and look at the child not being able to get out of it. So until that energy has been backed down, the information about where Summer is going to become very convoluted. It's going in.
You guys understand what she's saying? Class, do you understand what she's saying? All of the chaos and misinformation and all of this that you know, is sending that energy. People are not letting that, they're not letting that negative energy that is surrounding Summer in her case to get to a level that, you know, maybe some facts could come out. Why? Do you really, I mean, do you really think that I go back to the chaos that Tim Mullins, Benny Keys, Ernie Shell, and I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just saying that the chaos around, I mean, let the negative dust settle, absolutely. But they don't do that. They just don't.
In different directions. You will not hear about it for a while. I do feel they know what happened to her. Somebody knows what happened to her. And I'm not talking about in the family. I'm talking about in law enforcement. There's a feeling of like, we know what happened to this little girl. And I do feel that's going to come out sometime around mid-August, like the 18th. But then I'm jumping into the Christmas season again, and I'm not understanding what's going on. I'm hearing denials. I'm hearing people talking. There's some sort of a woman stepping up defending what appears to be like her son, and it's not Summer's mother. It's somebody else's mother with blonde, kind of wavy, and not blonde like my hair, natural blonde hair, or like sun-kissed hair, brown hair with like highlights from the.
And who came out to defend her son in all of this? Who came out to defend her son in all of this? Jody Sue, right?
Son, kind of a red face, so a little bit Irish looking woman. And I'm seeing her, kind of a sunburned face. I'm seeing her and she's yelling at people for thinking that it's her family member. And this to me feels like a child. So she's defending a child over here. This I see, it's very strange. So I split on it and I go in 3 different directions. I'm going to say it again. Elite deacon, grandfather figure, oldest sibling, male acquaintance of older sibling is how I want to word that. Not known to the older sibling, like none of this was discussed. He has nothing to do with it, but the levels of deception in this family are interesting, and both parents vibrate a little bit differently. They vibrate in opposition to each other, so it's really hard to get concise conversation. The mother.
You're right, Genevieve. They went from one extreme to another. Now they're all pitching hissy fits, screaming that authorities are incompetent because information is not being manipulated the way it was in Summer's case. Absolutely. And the thing about that is, creators create, right? And if that's how people make their money, I ain't saying a freaking word about them. You know, I don't talk about, when I talk about stuff that goes on YouTube, it's more with me. It's like if the shoe fit, wears it, right? I'm not going to call your ass out, but you know, if that shoe fits and you're going to be wearing it, right? I mean, so now we've got what? We've got, oh, Ziggy and Fred are in love, and Fred's going to come in August, and they're going to start talking about what they know in the Summer Wells case. And let me say this, if they are holding back any relevant information that would really help Summer Wells, and they're going to wait, and they're going to get together, and they're going to bring it out on the YouTube streets, and they're going to be heroes, I'm shutting up about it right now.
There is an unwillingness to see certain things. So maybe I befriend you, maybe I flirt with you, maybe you're 20, maybe you're 25, maybe you're 19, I don't know, whatever it is. I flirt with you, I'm high, I smoke this pipe, whatever's in the pipe, I don't know, but I light it with when I see it in my head, I light it with a cigarette lighter, and then the eyes glow and the room goes dark, and it's like fire. So it makes the brain go fire, and I don't know what that is. But
I think that's called Cracola. I don't know. I ain't never done it before, so, but I think that's what they're calling it. Well, yeah, YouTubers can be very scary people.
I see that. So let's say the mom, she hanging out with some people that maybe aren't her age or whatever, due to whatever reason.
Don't forget what Dawn said. Candace was hanging with the wrong friends. Candace was hanging with the wrong friends. When he was asked, what do you mean by that? He really couldn't give an answer to it.
And that is, and she invites them into the environment. So there's an environment around her children due to her own actions. And this goes for the father too. People that are doing the drinking and drugging around the kids invite different people who maybe don't have your kid's best interest at heart, or they open the door for somebody who's looking for a target. And that's what I feel Summer was. I feel she was being prepared. But it's interesting because it goes to the mother's side of the family, meaning the lineage, the history of the ancestors of the mother's side of the family are energetically what that family is trying to break free of, and they keep trying to do it. And then there's a counterbalance, which removes family members from that side of the family. So there's like behaviors over generations of dysfunction that were brought into this marriage and then brought into these kids. And now the kid is missing. That's no one's fault. None of us have a manual on how to live this life, but it's interesting because that's almost, I would use the word like a generational curse. I'm very hesitant to use the word curse because I don't actually believe you can throw curses per se, the way it's described. But I want to say this is an ancestral kind of a X marks the spot. I want to say this is like a generational ancestral belief system that this family has been trying to shed for years, as in change the dynamic. And every time they change it or go against it, it feels like somebody is removed from the family. And it's very interesting because when I look at the mother's side of the family, and I believe it was her sister that was never found, they don't know where the sister went, it's the same cycle being repeated. That's what it is. But it goes back generations before either one of those girls were born and before Summer was born. And it's the father's side of the family has a different kind of dysfunction. And that's a belief system, and the two clash, and it's that energy that's making the circle around Summer and the fire around Summer, and it raises up and it holds her in. So this is a little bit different than what it's being presented as. But again, I see three people. The day she disappeared, I see her going up to somebody, and it seems to me to be a lighter colored truck that's like a handyman truck. So somebody with a ladder or paint buckets or hammers and tools or wood or, stuff like that in the back of this truck. So it's like a Toyota something. It's not a huge truck. It's like a Toyota whatever truck, but it feels like that. That's a lighter colored truck. That's just how I'm seeing it. When I look and I ask about Summer's energy, I'm feeling
a lot too. I've talked about the red truck before. There's two things about this red truck. Everybody in the area had a truck like this, okay? But I don't even know if it's taken down, but at some point, Jody Sue was in a vehicle with Dawn. Dawn was on a live stream with I don't know who. And the internet kept dropping, the Wi-Fi kept dropping. And Dawn had mentioned the red truck that was down at the bottom of his driveway with the lady in it, right? And however Dawn was said about this red truck, the Wi-Fi went out, and Jody said something to him like, Dawn, they're going to think that you're talking about the red truck. And Dawn didn't care. Dawn didn't care. And then you had Robin, who X'd out the red truck, saying someone on social media told her they wasn't looking for it no more. You know, which caused what? Caused a lot of chaos. Caused a lot of chaos.
Another weird thing I'm going to say, they tried to keep Summer like you would keep a pet, to feed her, to keep her connected. But I'm almost feeling when they find her or understand what happened to her, there's been a mass cover up. Everybody's scrambling to distance themselves, to get away, to remove things, to take off, to hide it, to not be caught. This to me feels a little bit like the child transitioned, but I'm not feeling from Summer on the other side. So I'm not feeling that, but I'm not going to allow myself to feel it. So I shut that down. But this is how it's sounding to me as I'm saying it. I feel like this little girl literally was targeted. She happily went out of her house. Nothing scared her. So she knows this person. Nothing scared her. She wasn't kidnapped by, scary guy in the bushes, scary guy in the truck, rape van. It's not that. This is somebody. The person, they came by Summer in what I want to say is like a Toyota truck. The person that came by Summer and picked her up, talked to her, was sent by someone else who was older. So like an errand boy, a runner, a person that does errands for you, your handyman helper, works with his dad, carpenter, handyman, something along these lines, fixing houses, painting. But I get paint buckets. So that could be somebody who's a painter in the local town, or they were just fixing up something in their house and carrying stuff. I mean, we've all done that too. But I do feel this. The person in the truck was younger. I'm seeing older, somebody, let's just say somebody in their 60s, church deacon. I don't know what a deacon means exactly. I don't know what church that belongs to, but church deacon. Grandfather figure, who I take to be older. We'll just put them as a grandfather age, say 70. I mean, you can be a grandfather at 50. We know this, but I'm going to put them at the traditional grandfather age in their 70s. And then I'm going to put somebody about the age of 17 through 23. I feel all three of these men are Caucasian. And I feel like Summer knowingly knew the person. So this is somebody who betrayed another person who knew them. This is a betrayal for some, but there's a reason for it. Like there's a reason. It's like, I'm getting back at you. This is a betrayal of some kind. This is a betrayal to Summer. It's I'm getting even with you. So that is my quick video on Summer Wells, the missing 5-year-old from Rogers, Tennessee. And the only thing I could say is to pray to elevate the energy so that Summer is found wherever she's found, and that she is found and the people are held accountable. But what I'm hearing is that there's a timing in this and there's a reason for this. So the timing of this has a lot to do with other circumstances.
What could have some of the other circumstances have been? I say this and I say it a lot. That family was very dysfunctional. We've seen the dysfunction ourselves. And I know that people pray for Summer, but watching the chaos and the negativity in Summer's case, I believe clashes with the prayers. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? The chaos and the horrible things said and the evilness of all of it clashes with the people who are praying hard. Does that make sense? So everybody's like this. Everybody. In Summer's case. And that's what happened with Summer's case. People who came out to talk about the area, people who didn't even live in that area or come from that area, were discrediting these people, discrediting them, telling people their real name, jumping on a money train. And I think a lot of them know that's where their content lies. And I think a lot of them know that they can keep doing what they're doing. But people will get there when they get there. People will get there when they get there. I've never seen, it depends on whose chat it was in. I've never seen Sloan Bella in a chat, but if she is, good for her. Good for her. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with going in somebody's chat? I think the only reason I think that her reading is so important, it was what she did at one time. She talked about the energies. And I get it. I get it. Let me, and because I don't remember, let me ask you guys. Did law enforcement come out themselves and say that Candace left the hill twice? Or was that something through the YouTube grapevine? Because I don't remember. Can anybody answer that? Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I just don't want to look for it right now. My brain's mushed. Yeah, the boys wasn't even removed when Sloan Bella did that. Oh, well, I guess that's a question I'll have to look up. Right? That came down through the grapevine. I know that Candace left the hill twice. Then it came out that she was at this gas station, and we heard the story about that. I don't know. I don't know. But it's almost been 3 years, so. And now we've got Sebastian. What if Sebastian's not found? It seems to me like they do believe they're covering all bases with Sebastian, especially with his autism, because, people might think that he couldn't have walked real far without shoes on. But how are these kids just disappearing? But definitely go check out Megan's Law. I can guarantee you a lot of us knew every RSO and people that we thought were SOs or SAers or whatever you want to call them in the Beach Creek area, East Tennessee, freaking Kingsport, you name it. We knew a lot about them people, but y'all don't know about the people in your area. And look, it's okay to follow these people talking about Sebastian. There's nothing wrong with it. But I just hope people use common sense and can see where it's kind of changing from the facts of the matter, and you know, total gossiping chaos bullshit. I don't know, Sonia. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. What if he did snitch? What if he did snitch, Sonia? If he got a deal for snitching, I couldn't imagine how worse the people were than him that he snitched on. How about that? How about that? So don't ask me about Frank Light. Because you know what? I don't give a fuck about Frank Light. He's a registered sex offender. Why would I give a fuck about Frank Light? Because he possibly could have had something to do with Summer? They're all people of interest. They're all people of interest. Where does the Fred Hill character come from? What do you mean? What do you mean, where does the Fred Hill character come from? Oh, Seth found it? I don't know. Is that true? Is that true? Did Nancy say that? Nancy Grace, Nancy Grace. All right, let me check. Let me check. I got to get out of some of these tabs. Nancy Grace. I wish it wasn't fucking raining. I had so much I needed to do today. I still got to go get a medical test done. That's Chris not taking it. You know, I got to find it myself. I don't buy shit unless I find it myself. Where's it at? I don't see it. You're just playing Minecraft. Are you on Rap's old laptop, Mr. Nobody? I'm just asking. I wish it rained. I know, my knees are killing me, y'all. They really are. They really are. They're killing me. Seth said this morning. Oh, you're on Xbox? On the Xbox. Seth said this AM that his test is being evaluated, allegedly. Allegedly. Look, oh boy was supposed to be at work, right? He didn't get the message till he came out of work. He is looking for his son. I'll give him that. Am I sympathetic to his cause? Absolutely. Do I think he's a big, freaking narcissistic, controlling individual? Absolutely. In my opinion, that man said those things to guess what? Hurt Katie. He said those things to hurt Katie because guess what? Katie wasn't talking to him, right? But then he come out and talked about what happened to Sebastian, and what happened. Katie was like, oh, hell no. Right? So then what'd he do? The shock factor kept getting more intense and more intense without, I believe, giving a second thought to victimizing his already son who's a victim. His mind was, I'm going to make Katie look like shit. I am going after Katie. Katie. Because Katie was the last person that seen Sebastian, allegedly. Why all the lies on, for a while we had Jody Sue said she was the one who told Dawn that the dogs came down a dog trail and hid out in the road. Dawn didn't know that. Yeah, Miss Justice, he hurt his shoulder. They was all falling asleep. Dolly was falling asleep. So now you have a man who's not working because he's looking for his son, and people are pretty much paying him to go look for his own son, which there ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But he hurt himself. No, he hadn't slept a lot. I can tell you that. Bye, Sandy. All right, I got to get ready to get off here, too. My brain is mushy. I have a mushy brain, but people say that about me all the time, so. Well, Jody Sue was kind of defensive of Dawn and Candace in the beginning. It's fucking sad that people, it became about money. Oh, you're welcome, Tiki Tink. I've got it in my live somewhere. I've got her whole thing. I did it before. What a sad. Wow. You can go and look at the sex and violent offender registry. You can connect through all of that with the Megan's Law. Check it out. Well, I mean, that is true. That is true, Sonia. The whole time, Dawn and Candace says, we don't know where she's at, but they're doing things that make us seem like they know where she's at, right? Well, why would that be important? Why would that be important between Candace and Hunter? Why would that be important? The only way that it would be important, them messing with each other and poking around with each other, is if they were at the swim hole, they were doing their fucking deed, and they wasn't watching Summer. That's the only reason that would even be relevant. Right? In my opinion, though. That's just my opinion. I mean, hell, even Hunter came on and said they had clean clothes. Hell, they had a washer and dryer. They had stuff to eat. But then Candace says, oh, she had a hot dog that day. I don't know. Believe what you want. It does. You know what? I'm sorry, but if whatever's being said makes Candace look like a bad mother, it makes her look like a bad mother. Don, in my opinion, he doesn't look like a good dad. I mean, telling on himself. For real. All we know is Summer's gone, right? Summer's gone. Don and Candace have not been charged with anything. Don and Candace have not got their boys back. Don and Candace are living a decent life where they're only having to worry about their own selfish needs and not the needs of their children. And the only reason, if they are paying any child support, is because the state is making them do it. I don't know. Anything could have happened to Summer. But I do think that Summer's case did bring forth some conversations about things that go on in the real world that people needed to hear that may not have even thought twice about what's going on in this evil world. No, 2 cents. Sherry's charges was because she was neglecting Allie's daughter's kids. And if that would have had anything to do with it, they would have charged Dawn or Candace with that also. Okay? She could have had her head shaved because of lice. She could have. None of us were there, right? None of us were there. But maybe if we can get the bad energy down, something good might happen. Something may come out. Yeah. Yes, you may, wee Scottish mom. What's the rumor? What is the rumor, girl? Hey, Jack. Well, allegedly, Dawn and Grandma had to bombard Dawn to give them money. Yes, ma'am. The dollar signs talk, 2 cents. Dollar signs talk. Cam was up on good. I heard that. Oh my God, I heard that. Who did that so I can go watch it real quick? Hang on, give me just a minute. Oh shit. Oh shit, man. Get off the thank you. Give me a minute. Yep, they can go low. Go low as you can go. Oh, you got it? Okay, hold on. Let me see what time it is. Okay. Did you put it in chat or did you put it in? Hang on, I'll get it. I got to pull myself up here so I can hop over there. No, let me find it and I'll go to it. Oh, it's on Slop. Oh, drop Slops. I forgot Slop. I'm sorry, Slop. I forgot you. All right, without any further ado, this is supposed to be Cam. This is D Presents. I like D. I like D. I ain't gonna hurt myself. Jack, I've been on here 3.5 hours. You're gonna have to rewind. Be kind and rewind. I talked about too much. Here we go. New Year pods. Shit.
Hi, my name is Dee.
All right,
Thank
here
you
we
for
go.
watching. Please like, subscribe,
Thank you,
and
Lisa.
share. You're watching Slaw. Shit left on the plate.
Hello, is this Don Sherfy?
Yes, it is.
Is this junior or senior?
Senior.
Hi, sir. I'd like to ask you some questions about your son, Don Jr. I understand that the Wells, Donald and Candace Wells, are right now trying to throw him under the bus, saying that he had something to do with their daughter coming up missing. I would like to ask you, what do you think about that?
That's a crock of bull.
I think so too.
That's what it is. I know it is.
Absolutely. And
My son got in trouble. He made a mistake, and they're all gonna say, "Well, he's done this, he's done that," and because Evelyn Boswell lived close to him, 8 minutes away when she went missing, and
Why? I want to know. Why, when people ask a question, do they feel the need to put filler in there? Yeah, that pisses me off, would have sufficed. But now he proceeds to say, you know, my son lived 8 minutes away from Evelyn Boswell, too. What the fuck? Seriously, what's wrong with these people? Scripted.
was murdered.
who did that?
Yeah, Megan done that, and we all know it.
Yes, she did.
And they're trying to say my son had something to do with that. Well, if he did, he'd be charged with murder or something.
Absolutely.
I have any question.
He'd be charged with red rum or something. He wouldn't be just charged with being an RSO and a bad one at that, ma'am. If he would have red rummed her, he would have been charged with it. Don't you worry about him being an RSO, looking at pictures of little kids and doing nasty things. Don't you worry about that. You just remembered he ain't been charged with the red rum yet. Lord help us.
By the PBI, and they have cleared me.
Nobody has been cleared in the Summer Wells case, and we all know it. That's a fact.
That's a
By
fact.
the PBI, and they have cleared me. And I would like to think that since my son's got the same name I do, when they pulled us both up, they seen the charges against him. They have not needed to speak to him. They do not think he is involved with anything. He did what he did.
Isn't it strange how people from that part of the country just normalize pornography and SA just like it's nothing? Like it's nothing.
I feel you, girl. That's what I was saying. It's like that ain't a big deal. It's more of a big deal if some doper steals somebody else's dope. And I still want to know, Fred Hill, how you knew exactly the 2 law enforcement officers that you sold to, the exact dates you sold to them, almost down to the exact time, sir. I want to know that. Oh, but that's just a silly question.
To them, like it's a normal part of their lives or something. I can't figure out what's the difference in areas. Like, I notice a lot of this in Hawkins and Sullivan County. Too much per capita per the census and how many people are there. Is too many offenders in a small area of land. The man you hear speaking is Donald Wayne Sherfy Sr. His son is currently in prison for possession of over 10,000
10,000.
pieces of media on his phone. But he didn't receive them. He was the one sending them. Where in the hell do you get 10,000 pieces of
10,000.
media on your phone if no one is sending you anything?
And was it Sherfy Jr. or was it somebody else who was actually would stand at the end of somebody's driveway or something like that and use their Wi-Fi, right?
That's another puzzle to be figured out.
Well, we'll finish this one first.
He'll face the charges. He'll have to pay for what he did. But as far as being involved with Megan or with Sam or either one, no. The Wells are just trying to, in my personal opinion, trying to.
Mr. Sherfy Sr., this is coming from Remain Calm. We don't give a fuck about your opinion, okay? You're one person. I don't give a shit about your opinion. How about that? Oh, but everybody else does. And that's okay. It's all good in this hood. I don't care what Jody... well, Jody says some common sense stuff, okay? She does. I'll give her that. But I don't give a fuck what any of them have to say. None of them. None of them. Liars. Liars. You're all liars. Hold on. My son is telling me to be quiet. How dare he?
Throw it off on somebody else, anybody, so it will take a look at the.
Don Sherfy Sr. decided when the protesters were there, he was going to drive his car down there and he was going to say, quit it. Quit hollering in that bullhorn, lady. We got a sick woman up there. How dare you? He starts talking about his son. Why would you do that? Why would you drive down to tell people to shut the fuck up? And in the process, you're going to start bringing up your son. Why would you do that? I don't know. I'm just asking.
So people will be looking at them.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Well, and I'm sick of it. I mean, they've done YouTube videos about me, about my son, and.
Well, if Mr. Sherfy was sick of it then, I'm sure he'll be sick of it in the future because it's not going to stop until we find Summer Wells.
Thank you, Dee.
So he's in the spotlight. I hate it for him. I didn't put him there. You didn't put him there.
No, we didn't. He
His
did.
son's in his own spotlight.
Yes.
No, he absolutely does not know nobody over. The only person he knows over in that community is my girlfriend and her mom. And my son, the last time he was over there was 2021.
And one more thing about this.
My son, the last time he was over there was in 2021. Go figure.
Area of East Tennessee. Everybody grew up around everybody there, but nobody knows anybody. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Dee. Dee. Girl, you are at the head of the class. You are at the head of the class. Nobody knows anybody. But they're all freaking related somehow. Half-sisters, cousins, 5 times removed. They don't know each other, but they're all related somehow, right? Make that make sense.
sense to anybody?
Man, so there's nobody over there. The only person he knows over in that community is my girlfriend and her mom and my son. The last time he was over there was late 2020, early 2021. He and my other son and my grandson met us in Johnson City.
Okay. And so it's your girlfriend. It is your girlfriend that lives over there. Okay, that's close. Okay.
Now, just to give you a little bit of touchdown on this, okay? His girlfriend's mother was related to, if I'm remembering correctly, please forgive me if I get it wrong, was related to Don's mother's husband. Now, there was something about the land, and I believe her name was Mary also. Mary was supposed to receive some land. I think it came out, I could be wrong, that she didn't get the land, that she ended up having to buy some land that was allegedly supposed to be left to her anyway. It goes deep. It goes deep. You guys want to talk about Clyde Trent a little bit? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a little bit about Clyde Trent. It's very freaking interesting. You know, it kind of, that Brandon guy that JLR followed around in the woods, you know, he says he has to bring up Indiana, and which was really fucking weird, right? And it's like, has anybody really looked into Clyde Trent? Clyde Trent, girl, I got you.
You go up in the hill when you find Don and Candace.
Okay, that's close. Okay.
You go up in the hill when you find Don and Candace, the road that my girlfriend and her mom live on.
And that's why you were down there telling them to please quit with the blowhorns and carrying on, because you guys.
I mean, they were. My girlfriend's mom is in her late 70s. She's got some medical problems. And all they do when they get down there on that bullhorn and protest, it echoes up and hollers. And it just gets on her nerves, and then she's a nervous wreck.
Didn't she see the shapes of the sounds coming through the mountains? Did she not see the shapes? And, you know, could have been a beautiful thing. I'm just being a smart ass now.
Absolutely.
About a red Toyota pickup truck. Donald Wayne Sharpie Jr.'s brother took a truck from Tennessee to Kentucky and took the plates off of it and registered it in Kentucky on June the 21st, 2021.
Oh, D is telling it. D is telling it. Clyde Trent was Don's mother's great friend, who, when Don's mother passed away, she held the deed to 110 Ben Hill Road. And it was specified, if I remember correctly, that Don had to be married before Clyde would sign over 110 Ben Hill Road. And guess what? Don married Candace. Right? There was some verbal arrangements with Don and Clyde Trent that she come to the area around the CPS when CPS was coming to take the boys. CPS didn't have anywhere to put those boys right away. So Clyde herself says that she kept the boys that first night. CPS let her keep the boys that first night before they transferred them to other places. Now, I had people say that Candace actually stayed the night that night. I don't know if that's true. You know, that's kind of irrelevant in my opinion. whether she spent that night with them or not. That's rumor, Sonia. That's rumor. That is rumor.
Less than 1 week after Summer Wells was reported missing, and it was a Toyota pickup that he took to Kentucky. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.
We will do that for you, D. Slop. What a crap show. Any one of those people in that area could be guilty of anything. Anything. So sad, y'all. So sad. All right, because of my PTSD, I've got 10 minutes. Say whatever you want to say in 10 minutes, y'all. And I'm sorry I've been on so long, but it's raining. I'm trying to keep myself from feeling the rain pain. Anybody else ever get the rain pain? I've got a lot of rain pain today. I got to get out in it and go up to the hospital. And it sucks. I don't feel like getting out and going nowhere. So there's a little bit of talk right there about the Summer Wells case. Tim Mullins. To be honest with you, I don't need to talk to Tim Mullins either. That guy is a freaking weird ass. He's a weird ass. MFer. I'm not going to forget about Summer. And the only reason that I even, I don't know, Oreo. I don't know who Frank Light was friends with. Don't know. That freaking wind is blowing bad. Did you guys see the weather? Seriously, let me see if I can find it. Because I'm a freaking weirdo and I keep all kinds of shit on my watch later list. Because if I see something I'm interested in, I just throw it on my watch later list. I didn't go into the whole thing with Sebastian and Equusearch. Go to Duty Ron's, and it's called The Search for Sebastian Rogers by Equusearch Midwest. Please go check that out. Here's the one you're talking about. Here's the one you're talking about. This
Hi,
is the
my
one you're
name is
talking
Dee.
about.
Welcome to Slop. Thank you for watching.
Oh, Genevieve, I bet he'll talk to you. I bet he'll just say, "You're Genevieve. I know who you are. I'm going to talk to you." I'll talk to him behind the scenes. I don't need to put him on YouTube. But he wouldn't answer my questions. He'd try to answer me like Don Wells, and I can't tolerate that. I don't like that shit.
This video is about Cam of Cracking Cases. I saw him on another channel pretending to be Donald Wayne Sherfy Sr. in a chat room. Cam, you know you're wrong, but now you got me wondering why you did that. Why?
Haha, Genevieve.
Well, 11 months, 29 days, and if he does rehab, he may be able to get out in 180 days, but that's the minimum amount.
Correct. I just take the here. I just don't understand why he has his little whatever you want to call him, going out there trying to just pick and choose whoever they want to throw in the bus, turn their head that way. I'm thinking
that's what he's been doing since day one. He's pointing fingers at anybody except for him.
Yeah, I know my youngin make mistakes, and I know he'll get he'll have to pay for it.
Right.
But that don't mean he's out there doing this and that. Take on. Right.
What do you
So what is
mean,
your opinion on
D?
Jones, since you're out,
What am I not seeing here?
Excuse me, thank you.
That's definitely Cam, and there's no
Cam.
mistake here.
What are you
He
doing, Cam?
intentionally, premeditatedly into a talk show on YouTube and pretended to be Donald Sherfy Sr. Now, I'm wondering why he did this. Is he kin to the Sherfys? Does he know the Sherfys outside the Summerwells case? What's going on? Why did he do this? Now, this raises my antenna to a lot more serious stuff. Cam and Allie cracking cases.
What's your opinion on Jody Sue? Well, I'm not too familiar with her, to be honest. I just know he's up there fighting, raising all sorts of cane on Andy's property. I know I had to run her downhill one day because she up there ran on that property, and who owned this, who's going to buy that? It's just a big mess.
Are you the one that came driving down when the YouTubers were there with the bullhorn and all that?
Yes, ma'am, yes.
How was that experience with them? They're crazy, huh?
We're tired of, our family cemeteries. I've been there. They out there sitting on everything, don't even, with no respect, yelling on them bullhorn, disturbing them.
Are you happy with yesterday's outcome?
Well, I feel like he'll weasel around it one way or another.
Right.
I don't know what they say, 6 months.
Well, 11 months, 29 days, and if he does rehab, he may be able to get out in 180 days, but that's the minimum amount.
Correct.
Oh, Cam.
Take a break here. I just don't understand why he has his little whatever you want to call him, going out there trying to just pick and choose whoever they want to throw in the bus, turn their head that way. I'm thinking
that's what he's been doing since day one. He's pointing fingers at anybody except for him.
Yeah, I know my youngin make mistakes, and I know he'll get he'll have to pay for it. Right. But that don't mean he's out there doing this and that. Take on mother-in-law. It's just this took a toll on us all. And then that woman called me the other day, and I talked to her for a while. I should have asked who she was, but
see, when Ziggy was there, she didn't do all
You're
that
just letting
nonsense, like
people
doing
call
she
you.
stopped.
Wait. I can't hear no more. Nothing surprises, remain calm. Nothing. Nothing at all. Hey, will one of you guys, do I have a mod still in here to drop Dino's link one more time for me? She needs to come in here and drop her own damn link. She's a mod. I don't think I unmodded her. Why would I do that? But she works, so a lot of times she's not home. Anyhow, check it out. I'm going to get off here, you guys. Thank you, Sassian. All right. I got real life stuff to contend to. Not that stuff ain't real life. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you, Sassy Ann, for hanging with me this whole time. It's been a long freaking morning. But please go check out, it's okay to get caught up into different theories and the drama and all that. There's nothing wrong with it. Sassy Ann got it, Flies, but thank you. Thank you, Tinky Tink. And it's okay to do that because we all have our own opinions and theories on these missing children's cases. But please, it does, if you can get on social media, if you can get on YouTube, you can go on Google and, you know, Google some of these organizations that are actually going out here and you know, they're not necessarily YouTubers or anything, but like Equusearch. Okay? Not everybody in the Summer Wells case has something to lie about. Not everybody in the Summer Wells case has to lie about going and searching for her. Okay? Not everybody in the Summer Wells case befriended Dawn and Candace and made it about Dawn and Candace. They kept it on Summer, on looking for Summer. These searchers were getting ill from being in some of the areas. There's a high concentration of manufacturers in that area. Some places catch fire and burn down. Right? Wasn't there a house or something near Fred's that caught fire and burned down? I remember hearing that. I don't think anybody thought anything about it. First thing I thought was, what was you hiding in there? What was you doing in there? That's like Ziggy. Who in the fuck, who says, well, I didn't know that Fred and Laura, you know, they were living up the road in a nicer place, and the one place, it was just a trap house. It was just a manufacturing madness. Right? Who says what is okay with that? What is okay with that? To basically say, yeah, I've been there 5 or 6 times, and every time I went, guess where I went? I didn't go to the nice house they had up the road. Oh, no. Right? Sometimes people, when they speak, they say a lot. You just have to hear what they're saying. Okay? Yes, Summer Wells needs to be found. All these children need to be found. What kind of man demeans another man who's looking for the child? I don't know. I'm leaving y'all with that. I'm at 3:58. I'm getting my ass off here. Hope you guys liked the little discussion today. Don't know if a lot of it made sense. You guys know sometimes I am all over the place. That is how my brain works. So, yes, thank you. Equusearch Midwest is on Facebook. Go check them out. Feel free to donate. I'm not someone who does a lot of that on my channel. You know, not for now. Anyway, so thank you, Sonia. All right, I'm getting off here. Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Catch y'all later. Well, that means Peter H is very smart, Karen. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you, Angela. Peace out, everybody.